food shortages and inflation both being blamed on the situation and the conflict in the Ukraine. Countries like the US and the UK and almost every major Western country, isn't it irresponsible for them to keep supplying weapons to Ukraine to prolong this conflict? The price increase, by $1 and you increasing by $1.50. Sometimes they have stock that was purchased at lower prices, but they just news about a price increase has gone out. So you know what?
Yeah.
Pop them stickers. We could make more money on this.
Yeah. I want to see how it play off. I want to see how Kiss will raise, how he doubles the raise. Will he double? Man say okay, 33%, $6 or $2.
Maybe we might be like them Venezuelans who lost weight because of the food prices.
Right.
I think many of us probably do live on far too many calories, clearly, because we carry a lot of extra weight.
Yeah. You understand? When you start try to replace flour, you try to replace rice with anything, shit gets expensive.
Yep.
Hey, welcome back. It's the Alternative Perspectives podcast, the app 868. Look for us on all podcasting platforms and YouTube as well if you're into that kind of thing, Yeah, boy. Another week. Wonderful week. Not too much drama.
Naldo, Jude.
Yeah. Well, Naldo and Jude. By now, we're supposed to know who's who, man.
Remember, we are hoping to be talking to new people every time we come here.
Oh, okay.
Right? So, act like it.
All right.
Manifest the thing.
All right. Yeah. So, Naldo, Jude. Want to shout out to Cassius. Cassius again came through to collect his prize.
See, antagonizing.
Yeah,
Corey. he want something from him too.
Yeah. So Corey had to step up a game with G, boy.
Yeah, boy.
Right?
Your production quality hard, but you had to give away something.
Yeah. Your listeners and I mean, come on, dude, come on.
and you're big in the dance.
Yeah.
Maybe fair bigger than we in the dance.
Yeah.
So he should have it to give.
Hey, so Corey, sort it out. I'm watching something here.
Just now, before we go ahead, I just want to explain.
It is why I say I'm watching you run out here.
Yeah.
And
somebody
I'm confused.
People messaged me over the weekend telling me how they doubt I go bring up basketball again on the podcast. I could have, if I hurt it, but I am just showing everybody I still repping. Celtics, all the way. But the real reason is I need a haircut now, boy, and this was the only hat I had.
Oh, okay.
So I decided, as upon this, let me just make it a whole Boston team one time.
Because, I realized you didn't really say nothing, about it. I've been watching it, I just, listen, the game, I do follow the basketball, right? The other night I played on once or twice over the case, maybe when the game was playing. And how I knew when Boston won the night before is on Instagram the next day, I would see a post from you and I see a post from Shannon now, boy. But then from the next day, from the time the whole day passed and I didn't see a post, I see, yeah, boy, them fellas and them.
Well, listen, people. Somebody pointed that out to me as well. It's not like when we lose, I running from talk, but it's just I don't feel to post about losing.
I mean, obviously, who
losing?
Who will post about losing?
Yeah.
But I think it's also good if the other team play a good game. You could say that's a good game.
The unfortunate thing is that in none of those games that I feel that Golden State won, I felt in all 4 games at Boston, and this goes sound sour, but that is just reality. What made me most upset was that I felt the Celtics beat themselves. They were just they fell into bad habits. They stopped doing the things that carried them to the finals. And I thought that the coach had got certain things out of them. But it seems like when the chips were on the table and everything was at stake, them fellas just revert to bad habits and the coach wasn't able to snap them out of it.
Yeah,
it was just bad basketball.
The 2 games I watched, to me, they didn't look like a championship team. In the 2 games in the finals I watched,
and those were the 2 games with the most turnovers.
Yeah.
Those were the last 2 games, right? Yeah. Those 2 in the entire finals, most turnovers.
Yeah.
And you could say Golden State defense tough. That's true, but they didn't make it easy for themselves because they just went into the whole isolation, hero ball, one-on-one basketball, making bad decisions, nobody moving, but people just handing off the ball to either Tatum or Brown and just standing back and saying, "No, do something." You know? and they allow Golden State to put the pressure on them. And if I felt that we had made Golden State work for it, especially, you see the last 3 games, the game 4, when Golden State tied the series, they lost it in the 4th quarter. So that game was good up until the 4th quarter. And it seemed like from that point on, they just completely lost their composure on offense. Because the thing is, Golden State did not play that well. I think they kept Golden State to the fewest points.
Yeah, the thing is, I realized that as well. And that's why I was confused. I was like, what's this Golden State team looking like they're struggling?
Yeah.
But they're struggling and they're still staying ahead.
Yes.
So I was like, what's going on here? To me, it was a real shitty finals.
Overall,
it was a real shitty finals.
Yeah, I agree. I think the playoffs in general was real good, I think, up until that stage. Not just the Celtics, but, Golden State played a better series against the Grizzlies than they did against the Celtics. And I'm 100% certain the Celtics would have beat the Grizzlies just as easily. So, as I say, that's what had me the most angry. If I felt like we made Golden State work for it, but it's just, this team not good enough. It reaches far, congratulations. And I mean, to be fair, it still is. I knew they had the potential to reach the finals. But I mean, to be fair, at the start of the season, up until halfway into the season, it wasn't looking so. They were struggling, right? And as I say, I thought Ime had gotten all that shit out of them. He had, whatever it is he had done, after the All-Star break, he got them to start playing sensible basketball. And I mean, you saw a couple times in the playoffs when they reverted to that. Game 6 against the Bucks was like that. Once the shots weren't falling, instead of switching the play up and rotating the basketball, letting the basketball do some work, they just went into, let's play hero ball, ISO for the whole second half, and they lost. So there were a couple points in time in the playoffs where they kind of reverted to bad habits, but not for an entire game that way. And that's essentially what happened in Game 5 and Game 6. So, but I still, as I say, still repping.
Yeah,
still
I mean,
about Celtics.
Rep your team, bro. Rep your team.
Even when they never make, even when they didn't make the finals, even when they went out in the second round of the playoffs, it's all about the Celtics. So I ain't afraid to talk about basketball, and I ain't afraid to still rep my Boston side. So
let me get past that. Hey, shout out to Shannon. Shannon birthday yesterday. He
Yeah. I sent him a message. I'm happy with it, but I forget to.
Yeah, big up yourself, Virgin.
On the podcast.
Yeah, yeah, Shannon is a man free the mic, but he real bad on the inbox. You real bad in the inbox now, boy. I've invited him many times, but hopefully we get him on one day. He's a very passionate sports person. Right. So what's going on?
The meat of the matters.
Into the meat of the matters. Flour supposed to raise by 33% for the wholesalers from tomorrow.
The 22nd.
What it is? Yeah, I think today's 21st. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, from tomorrow.
Right.
What they're saying is that to the regular people, it should be about a 28% increase. I don't know how
they're recommending a 28%.
We are 28. Yeah, I recommend.
I don't know how much, whether they could bind the retailers to that.
Yeah, because I mean, if I pay in more, why would I take a 5% hit?
But yes, they are saying that it will be a 33% increase from wholesale, but they are recommending only a 28% or around a 28% price increase to the retailers. And I don't know how. I think Kiss is really the retailer that they have in mind when they talk about that, because I think that they have their recommendations kind of hold some weight in terms of Kiss and their retail pricing. But I don't know about like the average bakery man or grocery or whoever. Yeah.
Now the thing is, before we even jump into too deep, or even some of the reactions on social media, I don't know if I probably didn't understand. I think I sent you the thing where where they were saying that
we had secured, but they secured. What they're saying is that they made sure and to avoid shortages.
Right.
They established a contract with a reliable supplier to service them with a supply till the end of 2022. However, that was not at a stipulated price.
Right. So then is it that when that statement was made, just over a week ago, was it a real political statement, if you understand what I'm saying?
Well, I think it was meant to make people understand that there would be no shortage, which is what the fear was.
No, but I think in my opinion, and because I read it and I get that, but is it that you could have said, listen, I can guarantee you that we may not have a shortage for the rest of the year. Mm-hmm. What I can't guarantee you is the pricing because of the things that's going on globally.
Well, yes, they could have said that, but I believe, I could be mistaken here, but I believe that release was made specifically in response to fears of shortages, because there were a number of people from the supermarket retailers organization or whatever organization is in charge of the supermarkets or grocery, whatever is the name of the association, and some other people were warning of shortages, and people were concerned about staples like flour and meat. So I believe that press release was specifically to calm fears about shortages. So maybe that's why it only addressed shortages.
So then let me ask you, if you were somebody in a position to make a statement like that, would you have said basically what I said?
No, not if I was responding to shortages. Not if what I was responding to was fear of shortages out there. Like people, because I suspect that with all of the talk of shortages in the air, and not suspect, I know that there was I was looking at one of the news, one of the media house news broadcasts last week, or might have been the week before, and I remember the story was, or the question to the public was whether you're prepared for food shortages or shortages of something like that. So, and a lot of the people said yes. So I think if it is that if it was me and I was responding to fears about shortages, I wouldn't have made any pronouncement about price.
For me, I would have made sure and say, listen.
But why? What difference it make? If the price go up, do you think it'll make a difference?
No, but I think
you have to pay?
Right, but I think I would let my citizenry know that there's a possibility that this price could get ridiculous now, boy, and prepare for that. I mean, because it's one thing to say there are no shortage,
but they said that about food prices in general, right? They've said, but they've mentioned the even Coleman, but last week when he was still acting, I believe he's still acting. Rowley come back?
I can't remember.
Right. I think I think Dr. Rowley's still in the States. I think I read that yesterday. He's still in California undergoing some medical checkup or something like that. But yes, was it during question time? I can't remember, but Coleman was responding to some questioning or line of questioning regarding food prices and so on, and he did say that Trinidad and Tobago should brace for higher prices for at least the few coming months because of the situation that's being brought to bear across the world. So it's not like if they haven't made it clear to people that prices will go up. But I think they were probably saying some people were worried about something like flour, if flour shortage in flour, that's problem.
I mean,
and they would have contacted NFM, and NFM would say, no, don't beat up. We locked down a supply for 2022, so they addressed that.
Right. Well, the thing is, I mean, right now, yes, it is bad, but not that bad. It's still affordable to some extent.
Well, what do you mean, bread?
No, flour, right? I mean, I tell you, the 3% increase in anything is extreme. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, it could get worse. It could get significantly worse, right? Yeah. Because don't get me wrong, I ain't trying to downplay that at all. Right? It did the 3% increase, but because what I'm saying is, that's why I would have made this statement. Listen, when we talk about flour, and we talk about food prices generally, but if we are to talk about flour, I let you know, hey, listen, this is a situation, and we have, but I can't guarantee what the price will be. And the reason I'm saying I would want to say that, and the reason I also say that it's not that bad, I'm not trying to downplay it, is because you don't want to tell people, well, it's in really have a shortage, but the price is going to be, you can't buy it.
Well, that's not the case.
Well, that's not the case yet.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Right.
But I think if that could be the case, you should let people know that. Hey, but then again, if you see that, people might have.
Yeah, I mean, why preempt that? Why preempt that? Why bring that up now? People know about the situation with prices and so on.
I don't think real people know that.
Of course they do, Dan.
I think
people quarrel about it when they go in the grocery.
yeah, but you see, a lot of people quarreling about it. A lot of the people quarreling about it, not quarreling about it from because they see people come about boy extra foods and them, the wicked boy and massive wicked and I think those people who are quarreling about that on social media, especially, right? I don't think they understand that this is a global issue. You know, they just think that massive and extra foods and true value on them decided that they're going to take advantage of it right now, boy.
I don't know about that. I mean, all right, this is what I was looking for here. This is from March 31st. The cost of several, well, the headline is brace for further increases in flour, other basic food items. The cost of several staple food items have risen considerably over the past month or two as consumers struggle to stay afloat, blah, blah, blah. According to the Ministry of Trade and Industry, the Consumer Affairs Division has estimated that locally the price of flour increased by 16% over the period, blah, 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 blah. A statement from the ministry noted, however, that several food items remained constant during blah, 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 blah. So this was since March 31st. This was the Ministry of Trade and Industry telling people brace for food prices. Like I say, recently, Carl Mimbert himself stated that. I can't remember what it was in response to. And I mean, I don't know if there's anybody you could talk to who doesn't know that food prices. Now, they might still feel that the groceries and them trying to smart thing. They might say, well, the price increase, by $1 and you increasing by $1.50. But I don't think there's anybody you could ask why food prices going up like that, and they wouldn't say either COVID or war. They would know is an international thing, and every politician says that every single because they're not going to act like if this is their mismanagement. The first thing they will say is everybody going through this. So the other day when the Prime Minister was addressing the 4% increase, he gave an address. I don't know if it was well, I couldn't have been live because he wasn't here. He might have sent a press release or something. But I was reading some statement that he put out to address the 4% increase, the new offer that obviously the unions, pissing on, right? He was explaining how much it will cost and how much the situation that we're going through now is owing to factors outside of Trinidad and Tobago's control, and the economic pressures is not unique to Trinidad and Tobago. So they are making it clear. And as I say, I don't think there's somebody who you could ask who wouldn't say something like COVID or what's going on in Russia.
The thing is, as I say, you see some people speak on social media, and I still think that a lot of them do believe, as you say, I think they believe, a certain small percent of it is that, but they feel they over pushing and they're taking advantage of the situation.
Yes. A lot of people would believe that. I have no doubt about that. Yes.
Yeah. But then again, as I say,
but that might be true. That might be true.
Well,
sometimes
I waiting to see what
they have stock that was purchased at lower prices, but they just
news
about a price increase has gone out. So you know what?
Yeah,
pop them stickers. We could make more money on this.
Right. So that and as I say, I'm waiting to see because Teddy has seen people. Everybody saying we're waiting to see what we're going to doubles. I know why people are trying to say that doubles would be $15. I don't know how they...
$15?
People are trying to say, doubles will be $15 now. And I know how they work out our maths. I don't know if they just try to multiply by 3. By 3.
A third?
I know, because a third would not be, because a third of $6.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Ryan buy doubles now, sell doubles $6 now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Wow.
Yeah, so I don't know.
So even if you do that calculation, it doesn't come to $15.
Yeah, but I've seen about 3 posts and people, doubles going to be $15 now. That is it for me and doubles. I'm like, how they coming up with $15? But I still
what are you gonna buy in place of the doubles? Because if doubles, which is I mean, it tastes good, but the half of the popularity associate or half the reason doubles is so popular is because it's a cheap meal.
Well, I wanted to get back into that, but we were jumping into it one time too because I in a group there, and I saw people saying, when the doubles man raises price, everybody will vex. KFC raising their price, Kiss raise their price, but everybody go pressure the doubles man. But I don't think it's because they don't like the doubles man. I think it's because they feel like the doubles man was a kind of poor man food. And when the poor man food's kind of start to seem like it's not really a poor man food, like, you know, the poor man having difficulties to buy it. But don't get me wrong, the poor man have difficulties buying everything. But they thought that this was the food in grasp now, boy. They could have reached that, and so that, I think that's why people this kind of mark the price of doubles in terms of when it increases now, way.
Well, that's a kind of dunceness there, you know. That's a kind of, because everything is moving relative to something else.
Right.
So it is still a poor man's food. It's still the cheapest thing you could get, right? Well, when I say the cheapest thing, I mean, it's still in the category of I'm feeling very hungry and I don't have a bag of money to spend. This is what I will buy. Right. That could fill me for, you know, for $20. Even somebody like me who's eat plenty could, you know, fill my belly with doubles.
So as I said,
what meal I could have bought for $20?
So that I think the people in the group, and I didn't really get a chance to, because fighting up with some other editing and thing to get into that conversation. You know, something when it starts in a group, it is go on and go on.
It was not group, but I got an argument today that went like that. Yeah.
Right. So I want to tell them, I don't think people hating the doubles, man, or you know, they just want to put pressure on the doubles, man. I think some people, because they felt like it was poor man food, every time the price raises, it kind of startles them or kind of get them kind of like, hey boy, dog, boy.
No. Okay, I understand. I could be on board with that if the doubles vendors had raised their price, you know, I don't want to say unilaterally, but it was solely them. It was, you know, there was no talk of raised price of flour in the air or nothing. Doubles men just say, nah, boy, you know, we money get into, or the price of something that they use specifically, like we say chana, chickpeas, you know, which is not a staple that everybody normally uses, but it could be an increase in price could be a big toll on them, or could take a big toll on them. But the average person not aware of the price of chickpeas, so of chickpeas going up. So when they say, hey, doubles raised, you could get mad because like, well, nothing else raising, you know what I mean? But in our timing when everything raising,
the thing is,
you know what I mean?
I want to see.
I don't understand where that rationale could come from.
I want to see. Well, I want to see how it play off. I want to see how Kiss will raise, how we doubles would raise. Will the double man say, okay, 33%, $6, what, $2? So we're going up to $8. I mean, you know, can they really justify that? Because what percentage of their expense goes into the bara, right, or the flour, compared to the chana and the rest of things. So I wait to see how it all unfolds. I mean, I see about a woman selling 7 doubles for $20.
Well, people go find their ways to try to make it economical, and you know, just like, you know, when other food items meat raise, some people whose whole appeal is selling a cheap meal, they just find different ways to keep the price the same way. So if everybody know you as a woman you could get a $25 box of food from, she wouldn't raise to $30 or $27 or $28. She would just manipulate it so that she could keep the box at $25. So you might see some of that creativity come into how people.
Or doubles one where still here going on. For the same $6, you'll get 1 bar, dog. You get 1 bar, some chana. You understand?
I remember we said the woman used to sell doubles in the school by us used to get one of that.
A 1 bar?
A 1 bar, yeah. When he only had $1. Because back then doubles was $2. At least by the school it was $2. Yeah. She used to get a 1 bar if you just had $1.
Yeah, so we might have to revert to that. I mean, you get 1 bar and some chana. You see, I mean...
Well, I mean, I try to stay away from doubles, so I wouldn't know. But I ain't trying to say that simply because I ain't eating it. I ain't care. But listen, flour, it wouldn't be silly to point out how much of a staple that is in the diet of most people. Not me. You know my problems with flour, so I have to try and stay away from it.
For the most part, I do consume flour too. Yeah, I do consume flour.
So yeah, but I know it's a huge part of a lot of people's diets. It's an easy way to consume the calories you need to sustain yourself, and it's most people use it as the filling part of a meal. So it'll be pressure, not just doubles, everything.
Yeah, because the reality is, as they say, is one of the most affordable things in terms of making up a meal. Because when they try to replace flour with anything, dog, it get real expensive.
Yeah.
Do you understand? When they try to replace flour, they try to replace rice with anything, shit gets expensive.
Yep.
You understand?
Yeah. When if you're accustomed sending your children to school, the most convenient thing to send them to school with would be a sandwich, so you definitely looking at, and I mean, my kids eat a lot of flour, because it's an easy way to fill them up.
Right. I mean, your wife is involved in a business. Her main thing in her business is flour.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, we should probably ask her that. But do you think she could feel some sort of pain in terms of, because obviously now she will have to raise prices.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, but her thing is a specialty area, where price increases is not as elastic as other items. It's not as price sensitive as other things, because she does cake decorating and she does specialty items. People not as inflexible when it comes to hearing a higher price, being quoted a higher price in those things, because it's not like you're buying. I mean, she does cater just for some events, and she would do like tea plates that would involve a lot of items that are made from flour and so on. But the mainstay of her business is really specialty items. And so I don't imagine that having to quote higher prices for her would be a major issue. Now, around Christmas time is when she does, large amounts of like the same items, basic things, black cake, sponge cake, that kind of thing. That's when the volume gets humongous. Maybe then you might see a cutback.
Right.
If the prices don't stabilize by then, she might see that might be where it might cause the most problems.
People will be like, I feel like instead of ordering 2 cakes this year, I'm going to eat one alone.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Because people would order lots of cakes, you know what I mean? And if the price of each cake goes up by $10, now when you're ordering 10, you might be like, you know what, just give me 8 this year. Or give me 6, you know what I mean? But I don't think people calling for the birthday cake, wedding cake, cupcakes for their special occasions. I don't think they will be put off too much.
Okay.
By that.
All right. I mean, we waiting to see how it goes. I think one of the things, and I might be wrong, but I think most Trinidadians, because you don't work out figures, we Americans work out figures, we don't realize how hard we're getting hit right now in our way. Like, I think Trinidadians, we realize things going up. Things going up. And we might just realize, like, the money ain't stretching like it used to. Where, like, how Americans, they check every cent and then do it for a year and then realize what the loss is, or,
Americans or some people in America.
Oh, well,
you have a real...
From what I watch on TV, everything on TV, they check the cable and then they say things that you could save $20 a year on the cable. Like, that's $20 a year on cable. Like, that's $2 a month. Who just check that? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'd be like, okay.
I think there are some, people who are very financially astute who do that, but I don't think that's the average American either. Because the average American does not manage their finances very well. The average person in general, but the average American, their finances are in a mess. So, I mean, if they were that stringent and particular about how they spent, they wouldn't rack up billions and, trillions now in credit card debt, not student debt, credit card debt.
I was watching a video on that whole credit card, the invention of the credit card and to where it is now. And, from the initial stage, I was watching the documentary was done by Jake Shannon. I don't know if you know Jake Shannon.
I watch his videos all the time.
Yeah. Like, why would you guys have Jake Chan and Chance? Anyhow.
That's his name.
Yeah, I know, but oh God, but you could change your name. Like, everybody's do that. Anyhow. And then we could kind of, anyhow. So, and, they are saying, is the psychology, how they work it now, boy, with credit cards and kind of not spending money that kind of do have and whatever.
Yeah.
And how it's mainly set up to kind of set you up now, boy.
Yeah.
To put you in a hole.
Yes.
And
Well, it was set up as a means of encouraging brand loyalty. That was the first.
yeah.
That's what credit cards came up, so that people would remain, customers of a particular business. So you'd have a line of credit essentially with that business, and it wouldn't get ridiculous. Banks wasn't issuing it and whatever. And then when it became a financial tool or a financial instrument, that's when it went bonkers.
But it went even much worse. But the thing is, with like, even when, as you say, the first credit card, which didn't have the machine readable strip and whatever, it was, yes, to create brand loyalty, but also to make people feel a sense of comfort of spending money they kind of didn't have. You understand? Like, hey, well, I want this, but I really had the money for it, so I go still take it in this place, or the case may be. And that kind of psyche had people going. And well, so now we've seen it. But back to the point, I think, because now when I just sit down watching, like, hey, wait, but like, and now going to the gas station, I'm spending just about, I think, $100 more. Now $100 and something more a month in gas, and which might seem like nothing.
All right, okay,
right?
I don't think so, but yeah.
And then if bread go up, if certain things go up, and then all of a sudden $300-$400 more a month, and then no increase in salary. You know what I mean? But anyhow, yeah. I think so.
Well, yeah, at this stage, I don't know what can be done because, people seem to think instituting price controls is a simple thing. You just snap your finger and the government could just, just tell people, hey, don't sell it for so much or X, Y, they could subsidize the purchase of everything.
I've seen a lot of that now. People talking about price controls.
Right.
But that is because they don't understand what's going on.
No, not they don't. They understand what's going on, but they don't understand how price controls can have an adverse effect. They think that the government could just snap the finger and say, "Oh, let's make enough profit," right? So don't sell for no more than that. Now, I think some of them might be talking about things like price gouging. So, like earlier, we were talking about retailers who we believe are profiteering. They are using the talk of higher prices in the air to increase their profit, right? And I think there might be something, there might be ways and means that the government might be able to dissuade companies from doing that. That's a very ticklish issue again, because, it's private enterprise. People could sell for whatever price that they want. But if it's that you're talking about, maybe that could be something where the government might be able to play a role to as I say, to prevent price gouging. But other than that, they think that, the government can simply say, hey, people can't pay so much, so don't hike up your price. But they don't understand how, unless the government subsidizes the purchase, then you now have a company that is not functioning efficiently and whose profits are going to be, artificially suppressed. And then you're going to find people pulling out the investment to go and invest elsewhere because this business is no longer providing profit. And then you have
loss of
shortages and loss of employment.
Yeah.
Right. They don't seem to think that is a possibility because in their minds, everything is businesses are just greedy people run by greedy greedy corporations run by greedy people who just trying to dig out everybody's eye. And, if somebody could just come in and snap the finger and magically make them stop being so greedy, then everything will be great. That's their understanding of economics. So they would think that is the way to solve the problem. But I don't know what can be done at this stage. In the case of Trinidad and Tobago, many of the things aren't within our control. We are not food secure in any way, shape, or form. We, do a lot of importing. We don't have large stockpiles of food like China. China, by the way, has a lot of food.
Yeah.
We don't have that. So we are at the mercy of what's happening around the world. And I think, people with much brighter minds than me have tried to solve this kind of situation, but I just think it's going to be pain for the short and medium term.
The most I can tell people is don't look to take on any unnecessary debt at this point.
I mean, there are some people who are going to take the mindset, listen, life had to live. I will just up my game in terms of earning income. They're going to get more creative and seeking out side hustles and, other types of investments. And, that's great. I applaud that. And if you can do that to maintain your lifestyle, go right ahead, because I think that's something that we need to focus on as well. We need to all focus on making ourselves more valuable to the marketplace in general, increasing our sources of income. So yeah, you could take this opportunity to do that. But the general individual is probably not going to look at it that way. So they're just going to try to manage their expenses. Maybe we might be like them Venezuelans who lost weight because of the food prices.
Right.
Remember that said the average Venezuelan had lost 5 kilos over the course of, I think, 6 months, 3 months, 3 or 6 months.
If things happen to get worse, I don't know, because the shit I just eat to try and keep my diabetes under control.
Mm-hmm.
If that's how to get real.
Nah, man. It just, now you had to become a bushman. Now you had to become, and I mean, greens not expensive.
Not yet, at least. But when everybody started to buy it, you go no.
I mean, fertilizer prices.
I hear so.
Yeah, those, because that's what's adding to the price of a lot of items going up as well. The feed for livestock has gone up, and feed for and fertilizer for crops has become more expensive. So those things would go up. I think we just have to become accustomed to operating on less calories. I think that's the thing that if push comes to shove, we're gonna really be forced to do. I think many of us probably do live on far too many calories, clearly, because we carry a lot of extra weight. So we might have to learn to be like, hey, 1,700 calories, 1,800 calories. That's it for the day. Like I said, that's looking on the bright side.
I ain't saying no. It's just I've never really gotten into the counting calories thing. So you calling figures, then it's like, I just don't know how to eat one. Well, I don't eat bread, but if you're eating bread, you gotta eat one slice instead of two.
Right? Yeah.
Or whatever the case may be, if you're making juice instead of making.
No, as you were mentioning things like greens, because the problem is we've gotten accustomed to eating till we feel a particular way, right? And that's why we tend to turn to things like that are calorie dense but nutrition bereft. So things like bread and potato, these things feel heavy and they help to make us feel full during a meal. But maybe we should get accustomed to not feeling that way. After we necessarily feeling that way after we eat. You know what I mean? So we eat more greens now and try to survive on that.
Well, and the thing is, for people who don't know, once you get your body accustomed to it, you could eat just greens and a little bit of meat or whatever the case may be, and your body will be fine.
Yeah.
Eventually, your body will just
it will just adjust. If you're trying to be a bodybuilder, though, if you're trying to build a best carnival body, then that's not going to happen. You're not going to build muscle that way. But yeah, your body will function.
Yeah. So it's something.
Drink plenty water.
Pipe water. Make sure. Well, we had it because that is an expense as well. But we had to
I drink pipe water all the time.
Well, boy, I pass by my mom's there and it's brown, though.
Well, I mean, if you water brown, I would drink it.
You gotta boil it. You gotta boil.
I brown water is not something that's been common anywhere I lived. So.
Serious?
Anyway, yeah.
Even you sure? Even right where you live now?
Yes,
because
bro. I would drink brown water coming out of a pipe, and I drink pipe water all the time.
Yeah, because I had to remove my filter from here in Walcott because the filter was clogging so fast and getting dirty so fast. It's like, doesn't make any sense. Now I haven't put back in one in a while, right? But I talking about, so the first time I put a filter, in about 2 weeks, it was clogged. I said, all right, cool. And
but is the water, if you look at the water, does the water look contaminated? Or you just looking at the sediments that come out of that get trapped by the filter?
Looking at the sediments that get trapped by the filter. And in the early see the water used to be a little brownish.
When you go in the bottom of the vat that holding this water, that is what you don't think you'll see sediments too?
But the thing is, the amount of sediments in a short period of time that hit in the filter, I think, even if
you come by me now and open the fridge, all the time you'll see a big mug with water that's filled from the tap. And I just sit down there for the whole day. I never pick it up and drink to the bottom and see one set of nastiness at the bottom of the mug. If I did that, I wouldn't drink the water. So I sweat all the time, and that's how I've lived all my life. Belmont, different Laventille, different parts of the east of Trinidad. I've never you'll only see, we only started buying bottles of water recently to give the children to go to school as a kind of convenient thing to just hand them. And because these fellas drive around selling water non-stop, so it's convenient to purchase. But I don't drink that water.
But it's cheaper to buy than price, man. Just let you know. I'm trying to fight on water, man. Yeah, so, anyhow, let's jump off of that topic. That only save as much as they could save, do you have to do? Because they are saying about the next 2 years is where we're going to feel the pain.
The next 2 years is when we feel the pain, or we're
going to feel it for the next 2 years, I should say.
Okay.
Yeah, for the next 2 years,
well,
we should...
Who's saying it's 2 years?
I've been seeing that on people like Patrick Bet-David and all of these people.
Will they pull that 2 years out from?
I don't know.
All right, go ahead.
But them fellas, them is financial people.
True, but
business fellas, Graham Stefan and
Janet Yellen is a financial woman too, and she's running the Fed, and look what they're doing. So a lot of financial people just be talking up their ass, you know. So I mean, I will understand that, you know, you might feel that things must get better. There must be an uptick at some point. But I don't know how you could curtail it at 2 years. Like where they get at, what make them feel it go last 2 years instead
next
of 10
election,
or 5.
Trump will win the next election.
But
and when Trump win the next election, he go fix everything.
Okay, go ahead now. Can I go to the next topic? Because you see that piece of shit talk there?
I don't know. You understand?
That 2 years sounding fanciful to me. Or just that's something very arbitrary, I should say.
Putin and Trump win, Putin go stop.
Oh, as you mentioned, as you say that, before we go to the next topic, this is something that has been on my mind to say about this. Considering the fact that the war in Ukraine, or the special military operation that's being carried out by Vladimir Putin in Ukraine, let's be precise, is being blamed for a number of things. Energy prices going up because of the embargoes and sanctions being placed on Russia and the inability to export and so on and so forth. Is being blamed on food shortages and inflation, both being blamed on the situation and the conflict in the Ukraine. Should countries like the US and the UK and almost every major Western country, isn't it irresponsible for them to keep supplying weapons to Ukraine to prolong this conflict?
Well, the thing is, I've been thinking about it, right? And because if you watch some of those YouTube things, they would kind of tell you that the reason America under this pressure is because of Biden. Biden and them could do things to stop or you know. Well,
they would say in the case of energy, you know, if he would
start back fracking.
Well, the thing is,
a lot of the people who I saw, they were speaking specifically to the war in Ukraine thing.
Okay,
right? But the thing about it is,
they could be encouraging the parties to settle.
Right.
Yeah.
But many parties, they could be encouraging. What the hell is his name?
Zelensky.
Is Zelensky
but you know, you could be encouraging dialogue between the two parties and encouraging the one who is more friendly to you, in this case Zelensky, to be a little bit more compromising. But I mean, you should be setting the table for discussions.
Right.
But they seem to be amping up war.
But the thing is, I was thinking about that, but I think the only way they could come to any kind of settlement, it will have to go in Putin's favor now, boy. And all those people don't want anything to go in Putin's favor.
I know that. But what I'm saying is that considering that we are blaming everything on it, and the world's economy, you know, or economies across the world are going into a tailspin. The US is, you know, we see what's happening there. The UK, they just had to raise their it's not the Fed over there, but the Bank of England, they had to raise their rates as well. So they will see some of the same slowdowns, economic slowdowns taking place over there. So all of this is taking place, and normal individuals are feeling lots and lots and lots of pain. Is it right for politicians to be telling their populations, yeah, all they go deal with pain because we don't want that man taking over a piece of a land a million miles away from you. We are standing on the principle of democracy. And for that, you the little peasant will have to feel some pain for the foreseeable future. Isn't it reckless for politicians to be prolonging? Because when you keep sending weapons to the Ukraine, you are saying, and that's a war the Ukraine cannot win. You know that unless you are getting involved to go head to head with Russia, you're not going to win. And Putin is not going to give up. Or at least he's not going to give up anytime soon. So you're looking at 10, 15 years. Look how long Afghanistan lasted.
20 years?
Yeah. You understand? Dealing with insurgents there. And, Putin not going to just give up and say, because now he will look extremely bad if he gets nothing out of this. If he just, waves the white flag and retreats. So what we're going to do, we're going to prolong this conflict for 10, 12, 13 years while the world feels pain. For what? So when you continue to arm the Ukraine, that's what you're doing. You are prolonging this thing. Why nobody saying, hey, only
because to be fair,
so that we could
but to be fair, because they have the opportunity now to point at a bad person, and they have the opportunity to say, well, because they will say, listen, this Putin, if Putin stop this stupidness, then we will be okay. Yeah. And they have, no, obviously, I understand your point that things ain't getting better while you pointing out that this person is the bad person. But I think for them, I think their egos don't allow them to. I think their egos just...
Oh, no, I understand that. I don't even think it's egos. I think a lot of this is, it's purposeful. Some people might even say, well, it is to the benefit, the arming of... because, the weapons that they're sending to the Ukraine, it's not that they're giving them away, they're being,
loans.
They're being paid for through loans to the Ukraine. So the companies that produce those weapons, they are doing well. You understand? So, and those companies may very well be, very friendly with, those members of the administration and so on. And some of the banks that are providing, the financial institutions that are providing the funds that are being loaned to the Ukraine in the form of aid, they are also benefiting from, huge interest payments whenever Ukraine begins to repay. So all of these things I think are what are at play, not just ego. But what I'm saying is the population, we don't live in the United States, but I'm saying...
But still we, because it's still affecting us.
Right.
So even if we had to put pressure on Rowley and Rowley had to put pressure on them, because, he across there by them.
Right, yeah.
Right, so...
Hey, let's bring an end to this thing. Let's have an exit strategy. Now, I understand that it can't be... Everybody's going to have to... Zelensky will have to understand, hey, you will have to make some concessions. And Putin, you may have to make some concessions. Do whatever talks you have to do behind the scene to bring this to a resolution, as opposed to just amping up war, and doing things that would, because the other thing is, after a while, we all saying we fear Putin and Putin is a madman and this and that, right? And we keep saying he's unstable and we don't know what he's going to do. So, but you don't think that the longer this goes on and the more embarrassing it becomes to him, the more desperate he might become? And when he becomes desperate, what could happen? You understand? So...
Things that nuke the shit out of people.
Yeah, so I am just sitting here confused as to why people are not asking the powers that be to be a little bit less cavalier in the way they encourage this conflict.
The thing is, as I tell you...
I had to pay more for bread, dog. Because he invades some place I don't care about. You know what I mean? How is that making sense?
As I say, I also think that there are some rich people who will benefit, because when stock prices fall, you purchase. You get the purchase.
You buy the dip, yeah.
So a lot of people are going to buy the dip. And those are the people who really have an impact on the decision makers in those countries.
Right.
These people who afford to thing. So they start to buy now, right? If we run into an next recession and homes have to sell again, a dog, dog cheap prices. They benefit, and then probably you look at all of that too.
Well, as I say, the finances is always at the root of many of these things. None of this is principle. Nobody's, all that's just lofty talk that they talk at the UN conferences. But none of this, all of these are very calculated decisions. And unfortunately, I don't think they're being calculated with the public's interest in mind. But it's just upsetting to me that the public isn't kicking back and saying, "Hey, listen, somebody bring a resolution to this. Bring a resolution to this." I'm not saying I don't care about what happens to people in Ukraine or whatever, but I would have thought that it would be in everybody's benefit to find swiftly find a resolution to this situation, as opposed to having another prolonged conflict in a pretty volatile part of the world.
No, I think I understand what you're saying, but I think that's the world we live in today, right? Right. Everybody is about financial gain, and most of the people on top don't care what the people at the bottom.
No, but what I'm saying, the people on the bottom don't seem to care about themselves. Like, why aren't they?
I think they just give up. I realize our voice is not loud enough. I mean,
I don't think so. I think that if in the United States a very, very loud, even minority, but a very loud minority of people calling for less war hawking in the Ukraine.
The thing is, they're so distracted now by everything else.
Well, right, but the thing is, they're not distracted. They once you make the connection between what you're paying at the gas pump, because they know, and he keeps calling it Putin's price hike. So it's not like if they don't know that is the cause of their problems. As a matter of fact,
so is it that they don't think about the option, or they think about suggesting that to their powers?
I'm wondering why it is they have not begun to do that. Say, hey, listen, I understand the war in Ukraine is called, but okay, you're not responsible for the war taking place, but why are you egging it on? You know what I mean? Why are you not trying more stringently to bring an end to the conflict? That's nobody's saying it's your fault that it happens. Nobody's saying that you have to kowtow to Putin.
No, but that's the point I was making, because some people genuinely believe that if Trump comes back in power, he will deal with that, But you're going to wait till 2024 to do that? You're going to wait 2 more years. Your economy could completely collapse by that point. Do you think some people genuinely believe that? So I guess, and I don't know, probably that is what they're waiting for. Some people, I mean, the thing is, and I don't think that would happen either, because I think there are so many people that hate Trump that even if he is the answer to it, they don't want to even deal with him now, boy. Some people, you understand what I'm saying? The left-wing side of the United States, they could say he could fix cancer, but we don't want him dead. You understand what I'm saying? So I think it's going to be real interesting, but I've heard a lot of the right-wing people saying if Trump was this would not be going on.
I don't doubt that, but I'm saying is the situation is as it is now, and it's not like if you could call the elections before that. So you're going to wait 2 years. By that time, what's going to happen to the state of your economy? Because I mean, there's a lot. Even if they win the
midterms,
the midterm elections and the congressional and Senate elections or whatever, the Democrats are still going to be in charge of the central government, federal government, and they're still going to have a lot of executive power, a lot of things they could do without the permission of Congress. So it's not you're not going to solve this. You're going to wait 2 years to solve this problem, this a dire problem like what's taking place now. That whole system could fall completely in 6 months. You know what I mean? It could end up like Argentina in the 90s, just like that. You know what I mean? In the 80s, was 80s, 90s. But anyway, Argentina in towards the end of the last century, you could end up like that. You snap your finger. So I think anybody's waiting for Trump or anybody to ride in on a White House in 2024, they're being a little bit retarded. So I think in general, we in the across the world need to start asking, hey, why aren't we looking to bring an end to this thing? Why are we kind of I think pushing this thing forward?
I think it's
and encouraging our country to win to fight an unwinnable war.
I think is the same problem we kind of experience with the pandemic. As you were saying, let's look at the alternative. Let's look at, listen, we're locking down, but what happens financially, I think is a similar thing with this situation is what's going on. And because people had this demon to point out, being the what caused the pandemic, right? I think because have that to point out, people not pressing on who they should press on, just as it happened in the pandemic. People not because we could blame it on them now, boy. And I mean, you see people quarreling, boy, Putin, look at Putin causing, boy, Putin, and as I say, if they call it Putin price hikes, then it kind of takes away, and most people not going to put all that thought into it. Like I mean, I didn't put that level of thought that you pointed. I just know that people think, well, if Trump come back in power, he go fix it.
My thing is, it feels jarring to me that we would blame so much on the conflict over there and just have no care about trying to stop it. And as I say, actively egging it on.
Well, I think people would quicker hear people say to stop it, get rid of Putin now, boy, because he has been painted as such.
Right, but okay, but the people who saying that, what they know how that could happen, they have some sort of idea, or they're just talking, or they ask, is what you mean?
Well, I mean, I guess
they feel how they feel Putin is replaced by just snapping your finger. You just ask the people in Russia, please kindly vote out Putin tomorrow, thanks. I mean, how that's going to happen? I mean, I am saying, I understand if the rest of the world was doing nothing, or was giving humanitarian aid or something to the Ukraine, then fine. We could say, okay, well, we don't want to get involved as two sovereign nations. We don't want to pick sides. Oh, we're going to pick sides, and we're going to say we're going to condemn Russia, and we're going to try our best to help the refugees from the Ukraine. We'll send food and aid, humanitarian aid, and so on. Then that's fine. But when you are sending weapons and saying, we're going to continue to arm the Ukraine to essentially win a war to fight a war they can never win. The worst, all that can happen is a stalemate. You fight for just so long that somebody gives up, right? And I mean, in a sense, that could be deemed a victory for Ukraine.
Right.
But the point is, you're not going to overpower Russia tomorrow, right? You're not going to be like, hey, well, yeah, we are now the victors, and we will, that's not going to happen. So why are you consistently arming these people to fight a war that will essentially, that they cannot win? Why are you doing that? While blaming all the bad things in the world on that conflict. Are you a retard? Like, what is the point of that? Where is he? What is the end goal?
I think the end goal is just to make sure that Putin never win, or Putin never come out on top. And if that is at the cost of economies, at the cost of nations.
Well, I don't think that's a calculation anybody's making. I think that's what they're trying to say. But I don't think that's a calculation that anybody's actually making and saying, well, even if it means that my economy goes into a tailspin for the next 10 years, I will stand. They're not doing that. They're not. That's what they're saying. You know what I'm saying? That, as we explained before, at the root of this is other motivations, but nobody's consciously saying that.
Right. Because,
I mean, think about it. If your political life, essentially, your political career was hanging in the balance because you could get voted out, because you could blame him for all you want for the situation, but people just know you in power and things going awry.
The thing is, I think what is happening now in the political climate, I think a lot of people doing what they want and they're willing to risk getting voted out. They mightn't say it, but I think they're willing to do what they want, appease their financiers.
They don't,
yeah, right? And if we lose, small thing, we'll catch back at some point. I think that's how I've seen people operating now.
True.
Right? It's like
true. They surround themselves with the fanatical base who just kind of keep talking in the ears, making them feel like, you're doing the right thing, and everybody seen it the way you seen it. You know what I mean? And they just block the ears to all the negative talk, and they're just servicing the donors.
Yeah, and
maybe, you might be onto something there.
If it fall off, well, we'll catch back some other time, but we make money.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
We get what we wanted done.
Yeah, and we get what we wanted done. I think that's what's going on in Trinidad. I think that's what's going on
elsewhere.
Yeah, elsewhere.
True. It might be onto something there. That might be precisely what's going on. People just like, well, if you don't like it, you don't like it, and because when you look at what's happening in the States and you've seen how low the approval ratings are, they're not taking their foot off the pedal.
Listen, it happened under Obama, it happened under Trump, It's happening with Biden. They were making decisions and doing things that people didn't like. You're seeing their approval rating dropping, and they just continued.
Yeah, but I mean, none of them was tanking like
Biden.
Nobody
was tanking like Biden, right? Like
because
Biden.
other people could think, well, like, unpopular now, but I could catch back. Biden is he's struggling. You know,
right?
So
and
to your point, he's not taking his foot off the pedal
at all.
He's just wherever we just going down. We're just going down with the ship. All right.
Yeah.
What's the next thing?
I think you were with some of the foreign issues. So I sent you the story here with this young man. Why the phone want to? What trouble is this? All right, so I guess I'd open it back. But the story with the young man, apparently they say he was shot 9 times.
Yes, like 50 Cent. Yeah.
Like 50 Cent.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's saying that they're saying he is an informant. And some minister might have been involved. It's alleged that
he said he reported to the police that there was a minister had connections to a gangster, a big gangster.
Yeah, right. And now he's running for his life, and he's in the UK. Well, he claims he's right. And well,
people claim that that's what he's doing because I haven't heard a statement from him yet.
Right. And I was studying. I mean, I really not, Virgin, if that's the situation, I'm really sorry for you. But I don't know. I was like, this was my thought process. I was like, this is a real good story to get asylum, dog.
Yeah. That's what asylum seeking is.
Right? And so my wife was saying, so like, but other people who people trying to kill and things, they could do that. I was like, kind of, but not really. I say, but it works when they say a minister involved in that way. Because now it's like, somebody in the country is against you and trying to kill you.
You mean that somebody in charge?
Sorry, not the country, but somebody in charge of the country.
Yeah.
So it's like...
You're seeking political asylum or asylum from political persecution.
Right, yeah. Because, I mean, most countries don't care about you and your bad boy runnings. If you want somebody, they don't care about that. But if, hey... somebody in the government trying to kill you. Well, boy, we should really help you. I just say that seemed to me like a real good story for seeking asylum now.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be a good. It is exactly what asylum seeking was meant was set up for. So yeah, I mean, there's just a few things about that sound real weird to me. Like, first of all, I don't know why they keep reporting where he is.
Yeah.
You know, like, why would you do that if he's so desperate? You know, to hide from, so nobody could get a ticket to the UK. You know what I'm saying? Or nobody could make arrangements to,
or nobody have a link. You have a link here or there. You understand?
Come on, man. I mean, why you keep saying that? Why you keep saying where he is? You could just say, he's seeking asylum or he's fled the country. His whereabouts. He's keeping his whereabouts a secret. Whatever. So I just find it strange that you're saying where you're going, but it's not like we didn't have that before. We had that with the Ivoachi individual.
Right, the doing. I think
I can't remember his name.
Yeah, something like that.
But the guy who was alleged to have a connection with Ivoachi. That's why I refer to him as Ivoachi.
We going on? I ain't hear about him in a while.
Well, did he ever leave the UK? It was the UK he was
I know, but
he was granted. He was, as far as I was aware,
he was granted, so he's just living good out there then.
Well, I would assume so. I don't know.
Or Bridget is come back and thing.
I think the last thing I heard is that he was granted asylum. He had his asylum petition. It was successful. So if that is the case, then he's out there still.
Is it that you need to get shot, or is it Is it the
I am not an immigration lawyer, so I don't know what sort of criteria you need to meet in order to qualify for seeking asylum. I would know that. I would just think you'd have to show serious threat, and not just idle talk.
So you think shot behind is a serious enough threat?
Well, I think whatever you're claiming would have to be provable through an investigation. They would do an investigation into your claim,
right?
And if they feel like whatever you're claiming,
if you put some bullet in your wall and a car.
Well, you'll have to make a police report. The police in Trinidad would have to have investigated.
And they come and they investigate and you take pictures and you see my car, some holes in it, and you see my wall or some holes.
Well, no, but the more than that I would assume the results of the police investigations, what the British government or whatever government would be more interested in. So when these crimes were reported, did he police find any credible link between
And I think that
what the person claiming.
and I think that's what make it even better when you try and blame it on a minister. Because then you can see the minister is
No, but the police could say, yeah, we investigated this claim.
no, but he had to make the claim now and say, well, the minister had control over the police.
Yeah, but they would have to see like in inconsistencies in the investigation or something like that. You know what I mean?
All our research is Dubai.
Yes, of course, because they can't afford to have anybody rock up on the border. Because especially, I don't know about the UK, but in the US, there are several people who's been fleeing from them. Central American countries, Nicaragua, Guatemala, you know how the gang thing is going, El Salvador in particular. And plenty people, you know, fled to the US and seeking asylum, claiming that, you know, they would be, if they returned home, they'll be executed by members of a particular gang because they witnessed it. And they get sent back. You understand? Because wherever investigation, they couldn't justify that. And some of these times, these are people who were shot at in Mexico while trying to get to the US because some link with some gang and wherever. And the Border Patrol are aware of that. And they still send them back. So I would think that whatever story you give, bro, the authorities would have to investigate and be convinced that whatever story you're giving them is
Or it might just be the man me that day. I don't know. Not like that. Not the man meet like that, eh? Just saying it.
Because it's not just an interview, you know. It's a whole process. You because when you're granted temporary leave to remain while they investigate your asylum claim, sometimes it take a year, sometimes it take years, you know, depending on what.
Right,
and the country that they're dealing with. Like if it's a war-torn country, it might be very difficult to get information, to conduct an investigation. But something like if you're claiming something like in Trinidad, it should be a lot easier because of the ties between the country. But I just find it extremely weird that they, you could say that for 5 years, he say, they're trying to kill him.
Yeah.
Like, well, who are you? They can't get you yet.
Yeah,
5 years, bro. You understand? You are
like MacGyver.
I just find that a little bit. I mean, and again, if all that's being claimed is actually true, I'm sorry to make light of it. I'm sorry for your virgin, but a lot of that just seems pretty. And I mean, the police haven't said anything with regards to the, because apparently we could confirm that a police report was made because I've heard it referred to by the opposition leader. So, because they're asking the prime minister if he's aware that there was this claim made by this individual. So apparently there was a police report, but the police aren't they're tight-lipped about what's going on and what if any fruit that their investigation bore with respect to him. But
I never lives could claim for asylum.
All right, brother. You go down that road by yourself, brother.
Lives a country and they live in my virgin, boy.
I stay in silent. I stay in silent. I know you don't like to talk about, the vid, but as I told you, I was telling you off here, I was on the books today. I went on Facebook. I went to actually contact somebody that I was, whose number I didn't have. And, I played, because these days, I tell you, I activate my Twitter account. I had a Twitter account for years, but I just never did anything with it. I never tweet. I never follow nobody. I just opened it. I can't even remember why I opened it, but it was open like, I think it's 2013 or something like that. And just the other day, I decided, listen, let me, reactivate it. It's hard to make connections with people on that, boy. That's not like Facebook where you just see all the people you know. And so I don't know if it's just that in Trinidad, they have very few people on Twitter, but real hard to make.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I think the Twitter community in Trinidad is a real small niche community. Right. What I would admit though, to me, Twitter is much easier to make connections with people but especially brands and big businesses, because like I would tweet certain stuff pertaining to my next channel, pertaining dealing with tech stuff, and those brands reach back out. Right. So much so that brands have sent stuff for me to review and thing for them now.
Oh, okay.
Right, and I should through Twitter.
Right.
Even if I've tried to use Instagram or Facebook or whatever, even email, I've looked for brands and gone on their website and send them emails and nothing. But Twitter Twitter seems to connect. But
well, they go teach me how to grow a following on Twitter because I mean, I only tweeted for the first time yesterday or day before.
Honestly, to grow a following on Twitter, you have to do the kind of Bolaman things, though. It's not fun. Because ASC is a real niche thing. So if you had to grow a following here, you have to kind of engage in the ship talk here.
Okay.
Right? So like, for instance, with me, because I have the little tech stuff going on, I could dabble in there and make connections there, right? But in terms of here, if you really want to make connections here or start to grow here, it means you'll have to engage in the conversations that trend in here. And that could get kind of stupid now.
Right. Okay. Well, anyhow, I try not to think for anybody who want to follow me, jcamps101 on Twitter. But anyway, because I was on that yesterday, and trying to figure out how to use the app properly and all of that. So today when I went on Facebook to look for to message a person to get a contact, I was like, should I go and see what people are saying? Because I've been doing that all day on Twitter now. But to be fair, I've barely even seen people from Trinidad. So I only get stuff from foreign to follow, right? So I said, well, let me see where's he seen. And boy, oh boy, I instantly regretted it, But one of the things I did feel like I wanted to talk about because of what I saw on Facebook and also on Twitter because the Newsday posted about it today is I'm feeling as if there really is a growing sense of, and this is in keeping one of the videos they sent me, there's a growing sense of disgust about the mask situation, right? In fact, the Newsday posted a thing today for a question to the public, considering that, you're seeing all these massive fetes, or I can't remember how they phrased it, but,
right.
And, no masks being worn, should we continue to have the mask mandate in place now? And there were, because it's Twitter, I guess, there was very little interaction, a very little response from the public. I commented, but there was only like about 2 other comments. But from the 2 comments, already you can recognize people who understand the difference between a mask, mandating masks and allowing masks to be worn. Right?
Yeah.
They seem to think that when people ask, should the mask mandates be removed, that the government is not going to order people to stop wearing masks, right? So, but then when I went on Facebook, I saw a few people were posting about that situation, not the Newsday thing, but they were just generally commenting on, hey, what really going on here? We're seeing all these people out and wassy. Why are we still doing this mask thing, right? And I feel as if there is really a sense now, from what I was seeing, there is some discontent brewing with respect to that mask wearing issue, which surprised me because I thought that, we just didn't really business at this point.
I don't know if to say it's 50-50, but a lot of people know, especially coming out of the last few weeks. You see, the last few weeks, I think the last few weeks changed a lot of things, right? The events we're talking about, Jam Naked,
Stink and Dirty.
Yeah, but even before, let me even start before Jam Naked. Bacchanal Road. Josie Jam, Bacchanal Road. Because you wasn't really hearing nothing about it after Josie and Bacchanal Road. And then Jam hit, and then people like, oh, come now, man. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
I think it's about time we started to give us a ease up, and then Stink and Dirty hit now.
Yeah.
And now I'm seeing some people like Keenan Die Hard. I don't know if you know, he's one of the more popular DJs.
Yeah.
I see he posted about it today on Twitter. He tweeted so when we going to stop the mask mandate?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So now people are starting to come around. So it's shifting right now as we speak. The shift is happening. Yeah. Then it have this Trini Rambles guy. He's on I think
TikTok.
He on TikTok and a bit on Facebook, but he's real big on TikTok. And I mean, most of the time he just call out some real good things. He's called out. I mean, not everything I agree with, but most of the time he just said the nail on the head, and he has been asking, what are we doing? At this point, and
and the funny thing is though, and it is so sad when, if you want to know, as we've kind of talked about, if you kind of want to know why shippiness does prevail in this country, just talk to people around and you'll see where people's, heads are at. Because when I was reading, because it's not like everybody was on one side today, right? But a person, and I ain't gonna call it was, but he posted same thing, a video from Stink.T, one of them, and I was like, all right, so the entertainment business in full swing, right? They back to, so can we get back to our lives, to living our normal lives now? Now, to be fair, I still kind of, other than the mask mandates, I think everybody's kind of back to normal. I mean, there's still, kind of a little foolishness with respect to, children constantly getting sent home from school because, whatever. But apart from that, generally, I think there ain't really much left to go back to normal, But I understand for some people, even just having to worry about this mask is annoying, right? So they want to get back. And I guess what some people mean to as well is, are we going to, just kind of realize, hey, COVID is around, it's here to stay. You know what to do, what not to do. Can we just move on with our lives now, right? So that's what he was asking. And and I'll call out this person because who this person is important. You know the guy. Remember Wesley Gibbons?
Yeah.
Right. Somebody in the comments to the post said, COVID done. Exclamation marks and a laughing emoji, right?
Yeah.
Right. He is to comment and say, yes, I think Mia Motley and Ralph Gonzalez would beg to differ, right? Because they have contracted COVID, they tested positive for COVID, right? Now, as far as I know, neither of them is in an ICU ward anywhere.
Right.
Right? They just contracted COVID, which isn't a surprise because we've been told by many different people that we are approaching the stage of endemicity, right? If it's not endemic already, but we just don't want to say it, right? So what would be the surprise in knowing that someone contracted COVID? What would be the...
Well, when you say that just now, right, I'll be honest, I didn't know they contracted COVID.
Yeah.
But when you said that just now, I was like, me and what, I'm looking back down or I swear that's what you're going to tell me.
No.
Because...
Well, I didn't know about Ralph Gonzalez before that post,
Right.
but I saw, sometime over the weekend, I saw an article saying Mia Motley tested positive for COVID, right? To be fair, I haven't followed the news to know if she's in a bad way or not, but I just assume she's not, right? Because in general, most people are not in a bad way these days, right? So, or they could throw all the egg on my face if it is that she in a bad way, or Ralph Gonzalez is in a bad way. But as far as I'm aware, I think if they were in ICU or something, we would know, right? So, this is Wesley Gibbons is supposed to be an intelligent individual. He's, for those who may not know, he's a journalist who's won a number of awards, right? From Trinidad, right here from Trinidad and Tobago. In fact, we met him when he was working on a talk show on Talk City back however long ago. And he seems to not be able to understand that when people say COVID is done, what they mean is COVID as a public health crisis is done.
Like, seen it as in the pandemic phase or in pandemic light.
Well, I mean, even if we are still in the midst of a pandemic, in the sense that it's wide. I don't know what the exact definition of pandemic is, but if it has to do with spread, then yes, we could say yes, it's still spreading, right? But the point is, it is not a public health emergency anymore. Because we could have, a pandemic of the cold. Right. And it wouldn't really bother anybody because it would just mean that there's something spreading, but it's not causing, there's not cause for panic and pandemonium and for a great deal of non-pharmaceutical interventions to be put in place. That's what they mean. Not that COVID does not exist anymore. It simply means that, well, the phase of it being a public health crisis is done. Now it's up to you. You do you, and let other people do them. Why is that so hard to understand? Why do people feel as if, I've said it before, and I know you do, it's some weird when I say it, but I don't know if it's a superstitious sort of behavior where, well, no, I'm going to never come off my guard, because if I don't come off my guard, that's when the panic and pandemonium will restart. But why does people can't just say, can't understand, okay, it's now an endemic disease. We know how to deal with it. We know who's at risk. We know who's not. Why they can't do that? Intelligent people.
But does he have any political affiliations as far as you know?
As far as I know, no.
You think he is
as far as I'm
unbiased?
Well, he certainly wasn't promoting any political slant in his.
No.
And apart from that, no. I've never heard him.
Because I'm wondering if if he might just be trying to toe the line of what the current administration kind of playing along with for the hour. You understand?
But you could just not comment, or you could say, because I mean, even the current administration is not really making any huge pronouncements on the disease anymore.
Because,
you know what I mean?
Like, even Chinese laundry, I saw Chinese laundry, kind of commenting and kind of hinting to them, like, let me get over this now.
Right.
And I was really shocked now where we're going. But he was one of the people, his radio stations were heavy on it now, boy.
Yeah.
So then like, all right, cool. All right, interesting. But, I mean, I just think that there's some people who do have that, I do kind of call it foresight, because you don't have to look that far ahead. You could just look now. Look at, I do keep abreast of the numbers and things, right? The other day it had a 2, it had a 1, and it had no deaths.
It had like 5 yesterday.
Right?
Yeah.
The next thing you see, that is what they're checking for over the whole weekend. I don't know.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And which was a pretty long weekend.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And as I see, once again, mean check somebody commented to say, I think the 3 to 5 people who die a day would beg to differ or something like that. And then Gibbons came back in and posted, we're almost at 4,000 now. It's like, what is, where's the disconnect? Where's the disconnect being formed? I feel as if they feel they're getting some sort of, I think they're getting a moral badge of honor or something. But I think that has a part to play in it as well.
I'm not willing to let go of it.
And I'm not irresponsible, and I am,
that's what they're trying to prove to the world, that they are responsible citizens, so they are going to.
So, and just imagine this, right? People like them, they glorify the deaths of people by COVID more than anything else. Think about it. Because they are the ones that are happy to see people dead, to tell people, look, people still dying. You understand what I'm saying?
Almost like they're looking for it.
Yeah, it's like,
because they want to justify their
how they feel.
How their behavior.
So they are the ones who kind of happy that your loved ones are dying.
Or that they can still have dead people to point to.
Point to. Right? I mean, it might seem like a fast shot saying it, but
I mean, it might be a conscious thing like that, but it's a little bit of that involved.
Because if nobody dies, they
start to look stupid now.
And they start to feel stupid. And, you understand?
Yeah.
And then they might say, watch and see people that die just now.
But somebody said that in the comments. Somebody's like, the backlash coming just now, meaning from the feds and thing now. And somebody, the guy who posted it was like, so what happens if it doesn't come? And he didn't respond. You know what I mean? It's like, we mean we've been having feds for like 6 weeks now. You understand? 8. How long ago this thing was lifted?
Yeah. So I mean,
come on, man.
People have been in clubs before Josie as the first one. Yeah, before Josie really hit. Because Josie was the biggest.
First big one.
Right. Yeah. Before Josie hit, people were in clubs already. People on the avenue. People have been. You understand?
So what do you mean? What? Yeah, look them now, thing, but just now. Bro, what has happened in the UK? And we keep saying it all the time. Them done with this thing long time. Long time. Right?
But, which, confuses me, because you remember we were here kind of calling it ball by ball before it happened here, because we were watching South Africa, UK, and as it as it went. And we were here calling it, and most of the things we said, if not all, came to pass and even came out even better, right?
Right, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So the thing is, these people are doing the same thing. I am not a journalist. I have never claimed to be a journalist. I have never had any journalistic intentions or anything like that.
Yeah.
So people like him.
So what does he close his eyes to what's taking place in the UK? What does he have no idea that there are many parts of the world that is just they're done with this, they're over it, they've moved on, and it is not. I think they feel as if they'll be judged, for saying, since once there's a possibility that anybody could die, now we must take this 100% seriously. And my thing is, if you want to do that, then that's fine. That's fine with me. I have no problem with you choosing to behave however it is you want to behave. But please don't urge the government to keep nonsensical things in place so that you could feel better about yourself now.
No, and I've been saying this for the past few months. Where is the same energy towards trying to fix the crime situation?
Right, yeah.
In whatever way it may be, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because crime in Trinidad and Tobago is killing way more people than the virus right now.
Right now, yes.
Yeah,
right
now.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that is the biggest threat right now in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
Right?
And forget just the physical threat to each person's individual safety. But I was telling my wife the other day that, because we do this, I have to follow, because for a while I had stopped like notifications coming to my phone from news websites and so on, but I kind of restarted it to make sure we have, content for this. And so now every time my phone dings and I look, is Loop TT and I said to my wife, dog, these headlines starting to take a toll on me mentally. You just to open up your phone, and I was reading for her yesterday's Newsday or some newspaper, the top stories like murder, person missing, person shot, your teenager shot at. Like, what the fuck is going on here? Body washing up ashore. What is happening here? This is starting to, and I think it's going to have a real psychological effect on the population pretty soon. So forget a personal threat to your individual safety, but to your psyche too, boy. To be living in a country where it just seems like, wake up every day and you could walk outside your house and see a body on the floor, bloody,
I mean, right now, you just open your phone and you see it.
Yeah.
Right? Look at this stink and dirty situation coming out of this stink and dirty.
Yeah.
Whatever might be with whoever they were or whatever the case may be. But, I think that could affect it to know that you would have been in a party with these people and, you start to wonder, I could be coming out of a party and they could swing on somebody and I could get touched up.
Yeah. Murders are taking place in parts of the country now that people weren't accustomed to seeing that. Country areas now.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Not just murders, but violent robberies and, people being kidnapped and beaten and, it and like you say, no energy for that.
Yeah.
We had a state of emergency put in place at a point in time to deal with, runaway crime. I hear no calls for that now. You understand what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, I was saying during the lockdowns that, when we had an administration that said, well, murders getting out of control, let's essentially lock down, which was just what the state of emergency was. The argument was, that don't make no sense because when you lift it, you can't keep the place in a SOE forever. And when you lift the SOE, the boy them go suddenly run off again. Wasn't that the same thing with...
Yeah.
As soon as you lift the lockdowns, wasn't that the same principle? That, okay, even if you're affecting the spread with this, then as soon as you lift the lockdowns, we'll be back to square one. But people were in favor of it then. But... nobody's clamoring, nobody's saying, hey, listen, this crime situation is... And that's another thing that I was commenting on the other day. This situation with the incident that took place outside of Jamaica with the police now, right? Now, I'm not condoning any of the police actions, right? Although, to be fair, people acting like the police who land the last kick, like he did it completely gratuitously, but it looked like he get lashed from the man when he was trying to subdue him. he get lash. I mean, he shouldn't. We understand that
he should have the control,
the restraint. You know what I mean? But this man probably no coffee in his face. So now that you get him on the ground, I surprised you just one kick hit him. You know what I mean? But anyway, the point is, I'm not condoning any of the police actions, right? And I'm not saying that that's not something that is important. But the Minister of National Security is being asked directly about it, and he's saying he was demanding a report be laid on his desk or some kind of shit like that, or saying that the Prime Minister will reach the level of the Prime Minister. I'm like, really?
Yeah,
really? This is what's happening in our country right now, and that's the thing
that's gonna reach.
That's gonna become a national.
That is catching the attention of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is going to take that very seriously. The 249, probably 52 by now. Get us 249 this morning, right? 200. I ain't reaching his desk, or he ain't taking that seriously. But a policeman kicking a man, a man who might have been, I don't know the story. They're saying that they might have been.
Well, he was resisting arrest, but sorry, I don't know what he was doing. But the point is, he was fighting.
Right.
Yes, he was not.
It wasn't a man stand up and a policeman kick him in the head just
Yes, exactly. It was not. He was not. I'm trying to be careful with how it's phrased, because I don't know what was taking place at the point.
Right.
But I did see him strike or attempt to strike the officers who were surrounding him. I don't know what was happening at the point in time. He was trying to arrest him, subdue him, neutralize. I don't know.
If they was fighting over a girl, you don't know.
I don't know. Right. But the point is, he was in a scuffle, and he did attempt, and probably, I think he struck. At least one of the police officers. The one who kicked him, it looked to me like he struck him before. Because he and that one were having a face-to-face, a one-on-one square off, and the other two capsized him, or one of the other two capsized him, and when they capsized him, the one he was having his square off with, he come around and say, hey, well, a whole lot kicking in, right? Now, again.
Man started to talk about, what? Some, like a kind of soft skull. Some people has had a soft skull.
Yeah.
And when they get hit in the head, they could die. And all kind of things man started to talk about.
Yeah.
I like.
But, I mean, that is true.
I'm not saying it's not true, but we have so much other things going on. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying what they did, whether it's right or wrong. Well, I mean, it could, if they fully had the man subdued, which it didn't, to be fair, they didn't.
No, but now when he kicked him, he certainly didn't have to kick him.
Right, he didn't have to kick him.
He certainly didn't have to kick him. He certainly didn't have to. That last kick that went in, he certainly didn't have to kick him. They dropping him to the floor, and when he hit his head on the little mini suplex, they hit him. He hit his head hard on the floor, which is what made the crowd go ooh the first time before the police come and kick him. All of that to me is in the act of subduing him, because he was a little bit, brolic before that happened. The last kick in the head, though, that certainly didn't have to happen.
And I wouldn't doubt that they would argue that we're still having problems subduing him. He was on the ground, but we still didn't have enough control over him. So, as I say, I don't think it's right. But I think they would probably try to argue that.
They will try to say that, but I think that last blow, I don't think there's any way they could justify that. But as I say, I could probably understand why the police officer did it, because he might now get lashed from the man. You know what I mean? And he's like, oh, you playing ranking thing, hold a kick in the head. Again, not good. Not what they're supposed to do, not what they're trained to do. At least I hope.
Well, we don't know what it is.
I hope.
We have never been to the police training, so we don't know.
You understand?
Right?
But this is what we're going to demand, that something happens. Subhead must rule because why? Is something embarrassing? Because, so what we had to do, we had to record to get them to take the crime situation seriously.
You saw the thing with the man by John D?
No.
When the man apparently, he kidnapped a taxi driver, put him in the trunk. The taxi driver, he put him in the trunk with his phone. This is the story.
Right. Yeah. And he escaped. And he come out.
Call the police.
And the police come on the scene and shoot him.
Well, they end up finding him quite in unrighteous. That happened in Chagramas.
Right.
Find one righteous with the man.
And
try to get away. But you saw that video probably?
No, I didn't watch the video. I just read the story.
Serious?
No,
boy. Because any video, it looked like the man self-deleted now.
Oh, okay.
Serious or no, dog?
Like he threatened the police to
No.
kill him?
He was running from the police, some shots fired. wild shots too on Rising Road in the middle of the day because you see in bullet hitting all by John D. You know, it has some them kind of concrete things like a car driving into the building.
A bullet,
yeah. Bullet hitting all that.
Yeah.
And he running. Like police like they did pick him up still.
Right.
And the man like down on the ground and I know going out like that. And put it his head.
Oh, okay.
Well put it his
yeah. Right, jaw, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what it look like. And squeeze off there.
Oh, okay.
That is a real wild place to reach, you know.
I mean, jail he make for jail.
But I think he should have thought about that before he committed the crime.
Well, we don't know what was behind the crime, you know. So who knows? But if he ain't make for jail, then all right, you're going out that way. I could see that. I mean, I don't think I have it in me to self-delete, but
I didn't think we have it in Trinidad criminals. In Trinidad and criminals. I honestly didn't think so.
No, we mean...
if you're real big in crime, and I know, well, boy, I live in my life as a baller, and I don't want to end up in jail and suffer. I could understand a man doing that, but you look like a petty crime dude.
Yeah, but I still don't want to go in jail, bro. Why go in jail? I don't want to go in jail. And I mean, yeah, I don't want to go in jail. As I say, I personally, I don't think push come to shove, I could ever kill myself. But I could see myself saying, I don't want to go to jail. And if we reach a stage where is the police, they have me cornered, I no other choice, I would contemplate it. I don't know. I mean, make for jail, bro.
I think you should think about that before you even start doing crime.
Well, yes, I understand, but the point is, I did it, right? Maybe I thought I could get away, I thought whatever, right?
And I'd be 15, my dog, what?
Well, we don't know if dies wait for. We don't know if dies wait for. We don't know if dies all these circumstances of.
It probably have our next story, but the man who you know, probably that's the side of the story he had to give.
Right, exactly. He had to say it was kidnapping, and he tried to thief my car because he didn't want to say what that was really about now. But you know what I mean? He had to pretend like that's all it was really about. So we all know, we not all know, but we saying this, but we don't know if that's what it was about. But to wrap up, that it is 100. It is very, very concerning that the people who seem to be unable to let go of the COVID situation and recognize that, you know, we live in a world with a multitude of problems that are, you know, all vying for attention and all things that need to be addressed. And, you know, we don't have to obsess every single day about, you know, this situation. They aren't taking time to focus on anything else. They aren't taking time to use some of the social media energy to call for action on anything else.
I think they you know, when they're married to something, that is it. They're married until they're doing part. They're married to that.
Listen, it's all, we all know what it is. It's narcissism. It's all narcissism. This is the thing. You formed some sort of identity during this COVID time as the COVID warrior. I out here to fight on everybody
I'm the lord of...
Yeah, you know, and I'm out here to wag my finger at everybody who's being irresponsible, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, your kind of school prefect behavior is having less of an effect now because more and more people are like, hey, all right.
Yeah.
I'm moving on with my life. And you like the school prefect in the middle of the hall shouting at people.
I don't know, nothing is much of prefect more, eh?
Yeah.
Than when everybody has realized, we not on you though. We not on you.
Yeah. So right now they're like school prefects who being ignored by the public right now, and some of them can't take it. But but the problem is, I think that they are the ones kind of holding back the final push to us being like, okay, let's move on now. You know what to do. You know how to protect yourself, how to, you know, exactly. You should know where you stand. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. And I mean, if you want, you could have a whole campaign on it, you know. We're removing the mask on it. You can wear your mask if you want to.
Yeah.
You should still wash your hand.
Yeah.
You should still
wear 5 masks if you want.
Yeah.
Wear 10 masks. Wear mask and face shield. And if you feel that's what's necessary for you to operate, you do you, bro. I have zero problems with that. You know, but let it be known now that it's a personal responsibility situation. And let's press on.
So I have a few quick things before we wrap up. I saw this post on Facebook, I think today. When Stink and Dirty was here yesterday. So somebody posts, hey, anyone knows the phone snatchers? They stole my phone at Stink and Dirty. Inbox me if you can get back my phone, please. We'll appreciate it.
Mm. Well,
That's a real weird thing to post on Facebook. Now we're like, like anyone knows the phone snatchers like that? Like there's a music banner. Like anybody.
well, I mean, listen, in Tong, this long time, I don't know again, but long time, in Tong, when they went a dance and they get your chain snatched or anything, people would know who that squad was. So I think maybe that's how she feels.
I know, but call some people now. That's what we used to do. We used to call people.
Well, that did not Facebook.
Right?
They did not Facebook.
We used to call like, hey, yeah, now, boy, you know anything, you know anybody who know.
She might know. What she's saying is, listen, I might know somebody, you know them, but I ain't gonna call everybody and ask them. So I just put it out there, and somebody might inbox her and be like, which part you get changed now? Or your phone take, who this, who that. I'll see what I could do. Probably. I mean, I would hope that somebody wouldn't comment. Yeah. My brethren is he chain, is he phone snatcher? You know what I mean? So no. But,
yeah. But if I go call my brethren, you know.
Yeah.
Wait now, is that iPhone 13 is yours? Yeah, boy. Yeah, my girl. Well, you go meet you now and you go get it back.
No, you know, she's saying, you know, they might have somebody out there who had them links. So I put it out there. And you inbox me, call me, or whatever. And be like, I hear your thing. I might know them people, what the man look like, thing, whatever, and book from
I just find, I mean, when we could have those conversations on these platforms, I mean, I think we could kind of see we have a crime culture now.
I think we are a crime culture a long time. long. That's the least of the indicators there. You know what I mean? But I think she's just showing, I know this thing, let's go. I know people out there, know these men and them. So I just ain't gonna go through my whole inbox and call everybody I know. So I just put it out there.
Hey, you have to do all you do as well, let's see fit, right? I can see people watching in all the inbox now, right? You have is the name of you think Pegasus on them now? Monitoring your inbox now to see who going to come in your inbox. You understand?
Say, it's me. It's I know.
I know this one.
Yeah.
And that's it, man. Life tap.
Well, I mean, if that's
a good thing.
That's a good thing.
It is a good thing.
Take down the phone snatching ring.
Yeah. I want to give some shout outs and some big up to Amory. Is it Amory? Yeah, I think Amory Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you hear what I said?
Plain doctor.
Yeah, the plain doctor, yeah.
Well, not plain. He is a doctor, or was a doctor.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he acted on the plane and helped out a youth and yeah, so kudos to them, man.
Some ministers looking good now.
Yeah, I mean, probably not as a minister.
No, well, I mean, it's right now. They're going through plenty pressure with their ministers. Every day is behind Foster now for plagiarizing any masters, you know, bro.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Oh gosh, boy, they're not letting up, you know.
Yeah.
And it's not good when every other week your ministers have to be given explanation. Reginald Amor now, he under pressure,
but it's also not good when, you know, the things that we have to big them up for is not a job. It's not.
I mean, but to be fair to Amy Brown, he's not. It's not
like
he's
not in a position. You do have one of those ministries.
Big ministries. It's not like if he botching any because the last one, Dennis Moses, before him did botch something. You understand what I'm saying? So he hasn't been implicated in any in the botching of any situation thus far.
No, but I just saying generally now. Generally, you know.
But it's good news. Is we having a positive conversation about one of the members of the cabinet. Which
so that's really good. Now we just want to have more positive conversations about the things you're all doing in your ministries. That's the point I want to make.
Well, true. Yeah. But to be fair to them, they would always say that they kind of do a thankless job where the things they do good, nobody's care, and it's only when they do bad, people is look down.
Right.
Look at them.
I think we spoke about Foster doing finishing the in phase 5, yeah. So
You just always big him up.
You know, he seems to be.
You always big him up.
I mean, I see up to today, I see people talking about they didn't see the MP, right? On Facebook.
Right. Not you mean from here?
No, not from here.
Right? I mean other people.
In other people in other places. So in a place where we see ours, I had to give man kudos to that.
No, I'm not saying no. I'm saying, but you particularly, I always give him his props. But they would say that that's not the general situation, you know, that generally when they do their job, people think, well, that your work. You're supposed to do that.
Yeah.
And when they fuck up is when everybody makes a big hoorah about it.
You see the pictures of Penny playing football?
Yeah.
I find she looked like she had some form there, man. Football form, eh?
And understand what you mean. Understand what you mean. I can't tell from pictures, but I would have...
I mean, okay. You see somebody looking real awkward. You know, if they're running, you say, how would that person look? In a picture, you can be like, how would that person look into running?
But she used to play sports. I don't know anything about Penny.
Apparently, yeah. And so big up Penny too. And
well, she's another one that avoids negative limelight. Yeah, she's one of the members of cabinet that you could probably say you don't hear about.
To be fair, she's from the older bunch. She's from the more seasoned bunch, and you know, we were talking about that, the younger bunch kind of.
But I mean, Reginald Amor is a seasoned individual. He's not a seasoned politician, but he's a seasoned individual, and he's found himself in some problem.
But I think you see sometimes it could be a seasoned individual and kind of escape certain critique and things not come to the fore. But I think when you reach in politics,
that AG position, boy, Rowley don't have any hair, but if he had hair, he would be pulling it.
Well,
because he's saying, he said, what it is with all here, boy? What it is with I now move on because he do a piece of chippiness in with this parliamentary secretary. You understand? Trying to force him out the work because he wouldn't draft some bill for you that don't have no cabinet approval, right? And then it looking like, he kind of stepped over the line where you know what I mean? So he's like, all right, cool. So before anything happened to before we get the legal opinion and the legal opinion say the AG was out of time, and let me move him and bring this Saddis here, right? This Saddis senior counsel, he's been, you know, he's a seasoned attorney, he's had a high profile and a illustrious career for many years. He good. He safe. He had no cobwebs in the cupboard. The man come on within months.
That tell you, but
facing it already. And he must be saying, what did this I to do? What to do with these cabinet appointments?
I think that is because when you live in our country, with so many people who twisted and bent up and you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
That it's very hard to find anybody, because before they end up in a position for people to real dig into them, they will look normal, you know.
Yeah.
But then they end up in a position.
But the thing is, what I'm seeing now is not just, I mean, Foster and the allegations against Foster aside, right? In particular with the two AGs, the former and the present, what they're being dragged through the mud for is not even like, it's not corruption per se, because I mean, I don't know what led to, well, I mean, Mr. Amor is saying that, you know, it was, he forgot, right? He forgot, okay? But, I mean, it's hard to kind of figure out what could be the corrupt, you know, motivation behind doing that if it was even purposeful. It's kind of like incompetence in a sense now. You know what I mean? It's like, and the situation with the former one is that, I mean, it wasn't...
Because nobody in this country is held to that high standard at any point in time. So...
Not that you mean when they reach this stage, you know?
No, it must show. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And so you see them in businesses too. People go through a job, never being held to account. And then they are in a managerial position. And then it's just more shit.
And you're wondering, but how you reach here if this simple thing you can't, you know, get a handle on, your things, you know, running awry.
And I think that is what it is. I think...
Yeah, boy. Because, as I say, there's not even just like corrupt. It's not like you're finding out, well, this one, he had some dark past or whatever. As I say, the situation with Foster aside, or the allegations against Foster aside, it's not, that's not what you're really seeing. It's just missteps, you know.
And we saw real missteps with Faris. And he saw the missteps because, and even certain things, he, as a lawyer, should have never advised on, or should have never, and it's like,
and people, and he had to be publicly scolded for the quality of the bills
Yeah.
he was sending to be drafted, or it's like, what going on with you? I thought, I mean, he wouldn't be the one drafting it,
but at the end of the day, you're the one that had to go back to it and say,
you had to make sure either whoever checking them things on your behalf, or them had to be on point. But you've been publicly called out for these things on, more than one occasion, and now you had the situation here, and it's not looking good. It's not looking good, and you're saying to yourself, many of these people, what used to go on in their professional life? How these people have these distinguished careers before they get where they get? Because it's like, I never had any interaction with Reginald Amore, knew anything about his career, but I would just assume, and from the glowing things that were stated about him when he was appointed, yeah, boy, that man is that is the cream of the crop there. You understand? And I mean, it could be an innocent mistake, but it's just, gosh, boy, God, that a high profile mistake to make, boy. You know what I mean? As I say, I don't know, I can't see no nefarious motivation behind the way you're doing. It's just, it's just like, why?
I think you really need to become a lawyer. I think, and go and start to cough them up. Not physically.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Not you, other people now, you know?
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. But, I would love to. That coming at some point.
Yeah. You got to make it happen. Hey, but then who's a man might be able to help, with that? Nah, just joking here. But this the local Mr. Beast boy. Oh, yeah. But that's the first time he did that. Yeah, no. I did it by, he did it by Trinity. Trinity Mall, or whatever the case may be. And I mean, I figured that he was going to continue doing it. Yeah. How you feel about that? How you feel about what he's doing? No way. What do you mean? I mean, first of all, I mean, I want to jump into it, like, with his real intention, or whatever the case may be, because that kind of confuses me. I mean, I understand if he was doing it more on YouTube. I'm not seeing his videos on YouTube. If he was doing it on YouTube, I could see eventually you're looking for AdSense, you're looking for, and make that money on YouTube. Right now, it's mainly TikTok, and then people sharing it on Instagram and thing. So I don't know how profitable it could actually be doing it this way. I hope you have a plan. But I don't. What do you mean by what I feel about it? I mean, I don't know. All right, for one, this instance, I think one of the things that drew my attention in this situation is Hispani and them. Is Hispani and them who were the ones that were quicker willing to help, and we believe, or a lot of us think that they are not in too good of a position here in Trinidad, and two of them, the two Spanish men. Dip in their pocket and was looking to pull out. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's not funny. Pull out money. Yeah, pull out. Yeah. Pull out money to hand them. Both of them now, boy. One in stop and, well, alright, that one pull out and rock back. Both of them wallet to in the hand now, boy. Yeah. I mean, if it was me, I would have, at that point, because they didn't know they was winning. They didn't know they was going to win $1,000. Alright, split it. Honestly, it's worth a little kid. Right. You're going on. Yeah, boy, 500 each. But so I mean, that's one of the things people are debating in groups. That look, is he Spanish? I've said that is he Spanish who out there willing to help? Is he Spanish who seeming to be the nicer people in this situation? Them two Spanish in particular had it. Them not under it. If they was under it, they would not do that. Well, true. So they're not under it. But I mean, because he could have approached me 1,000 times. I could have felt as sorry for he as anybody, but I couldn't help him. I know. When I say you couldn't help him, I mean... No, I couldn't help him. All right. No, I couldn't help him. All right. No, brother. I couldn't help him. So the thing is for me, right? Honestly, if somebody come to me with that story, here now, boy, because, well, I'll insert the video, but if just in case I don't forget, here going on, I want to buy a Father's Day gift for my father, a $20 short. Right? A $20 short, by chance I could help him out. If somebody asked me that house, I'll be honest with you, I would probably jump the 20. If I have the 20, yeah. If I had the 20, I would. Yeah. If you had asked me that on the day before Father's Day, I couldn't help him. No.
I mean, that might sound ridiculous to some people, but no, I couldn't help him.
All right. Yeah, I mean, if I had the 20, I would have helped him. The one he did before where, you know, he...
It was $200 or something, so somebody else going to spend.
That's what?
It was $200. So he get the girl to so I remember something with $200. Was it $200 that he got? The girl was he was asking for $200, or he was asking.
Nah, if he had our next one, it had one where he was kind of scrapped down like a vagrant right outside Trinity Mall, and just begging for money.
Right, but somebody gave him the girl gave him like $200 or something like that. Then?
Well, I don't know. I remember the girl was looking to give money. I can't remember what the figure was, and he was like, nah, here we go, so.
But I remember something about $200. Is that he gave the person? I think he gave the person $200 then.
I think it might have been a bit more than that. I think it was like the first time was over 500 or probably 1,000, but it was
no, it was not 1,000. It was
probably 500.
Right,
yeah.
But no, I mean, I'm glad for what the youth man doing. And do you think? However, you trying to monetize it, grow your profile. Do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely. If you want to have a money pot or.
We're asking why you do that.
I know some of them things don't really, matter to you. I mean,
appeal to me.
Yeah.
No, I just don't know how much of a conversation we go have about that.
I mean, for me, I think I could safely say I'm a YouTuber, right? Mm-hmm. It's weird too, man.
No,
it's kind of weird seeing it. That's not too. But I could safely say I'm a YouTuber, right? Mm-hmm. And those things kind of catch my attention as a YouTuber. Yeah. So
no, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but it's just okay. Ask him why you doing it. He tell me.
No, I wouldn't want to know. I go into more detail. Like, what was he like growing up? That kind of thing now. Why you think that, you need to do this? Is that you went through some sort of sufferation and you figure, well, so you want to help people now?
All right. You're real interested.
Yeah. As I say,
I mean, I hear you.
As a YouTuber, probably. You know?
Cool.
Hey, the YouTuber, man. Pause.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, shout out. Do your thing, Regin. I mean, any sort of good you could impart is great. What I would admit, though, I went to Super Farm last night, and there's a guy with a little cardboard.
You my Trinity Mall?
Yeah. You have some money, whatever.
Yeah.
And real people dip and get that man last night.
Yeah.
No, that... I could tell you for sure that wasn't always the case with them. Because, remember, I used to live close to Super Family, right? And I was always in a Super Family.
But that guy was there then? That guy was the kind of Indian fellow.
That particular one wasn't there.
Right.
But it had other people there.
But every time I've seen him there, he's get through. He's real get through. Yeah. At a point in time, he was there with a dark-skinned fella. And the dark-skinned fella, for whatever reason, well, the dark-skinned fella didn't have a sign. But he was under it. Nobody was taking he on. I remember he asked us to buy a bottle of water for him. I buy a bottle of water for him. And you could see he watching that Indianish guy and being like, why people getting you money? Are you not getting me now, boy? But that Indian fella, he's part of the Get Through Club.
Seriously.
The youth man who sell the snacks.
Right, I know. Yeah.
He don't get you like the Indian fella.
Seriously.
Yeah. I'm telling you.
That youth man who does sell the snacks there by Super Conventions. Yeah, we built a pretty decent relationship. Mm-hmm. Because I mean, for me, I prefer you do a little thing and you try and make a loss and you find a way. Yeah. And I mean, plenty of times
he used to go Malabar,
Serious?
Yeah. I think he was in the class, like a couple classes before Sakai.
Okay. Yeah. And I had that conversation with him, and what for me, as I say once again, me and my witness. But so I was like, well, this is inspiration. What are you trying to do? What are you trying to achieve? And you say this just a little business you're doing, and you want to advance and to go into fruit bowls. Apparently, you want to start selling fruit bowls and whatever. And for me, I was like, come out here, you try and you ain't begging. What you do, you walk down my true value, make a little money, walk down my true value, and buy the box of the snacks or the big pack of the snacks and come back and then sell them individually. I was like, I respect your hustle, dog. And yeah.
Every time I see him, I try to give him something.
Yeah. So I really appreciate that. I appreciate that more than just begging away.
But I mean, to some extent, at the beginning especially, it was kind of like begging, because the things, the chocolates he used to sell was like, dog, who does buy that, boy?
Well, I mean, as I say, for me...
So you might as well just ask for the money. You're finance? Look finance, bro. He sell the product to somebody else. He upgrade now. He's selling things people just buy. You understand? But you used to buy them reject snacks that nobody's buy. That's why you can get it so cheap.
Right.
And come there. So it's almost like begging. But I understand what you mean.
Yeah, and my thing is, I still try, and I business you try something that... And realize how good people are really buying this, and you because you could have continued, you could have said, boy, if I continue selling shit chocolate, people will just give me money.
And it'll be like a begging, but not begging.
Right? But then he said, he decided to continue, and it would have taken some trial and error. You'd have probably bought things that would have been slow sellers, and we're like, nah, boy, I can't buy that again. I will try this. And I admire all that now, boy. So, hey, big respect to your youth. And I mean, I haven't been around there in a while, so I don't know if he's still doing it, but...
Yeah. Last time I went there, he was there.
But big respect, continue doing that thing.
The thing with the police and them in the station.
Boy, in the Valencia station.
No, apparently there's a video where it appears that there's a fallout between a WPC and a corporal in, well, the state's Valencia station. So, but I don't know if that's been confirmed. But anyway, the point is it appears to be... Somebody in charge claims to be a corporal, and people claim it's a corporal and a WPC. But somebody who in charge of the staff of the station having a fallout, and it appears that as a result of what the superior officer feels is disrespect on the part of the WPC, he ordering everybody out on exercise. Right? And the point being made by the person making the video is that, listen, this is what I've been telling all the free long as well. Them exercises is have on the street had nothing to do with national security and crime fighting. That is VAP's thing. I don't know to whom that was a surprise. I don't know why people had to be, that had to evidence had to be provided. You know how much police tell me that?
Serious?
Yeah, police fed up tell me that. Like, boy, they send me out on exercise because of X or because of Y or because of Z. Police fell up tell me that. Like, fell up tell me, them roadblocks just be... Half the time that is because they find men looking lazy or they find men...
I've heard situation with the mask thing though, where men would have... Junior officers would have walked the street, patrol the street and come back, and a senior officer would ask them, okay, so how much ticket all you right now? Well, you write no ticket. All you write no ticket? No. Come, let we go. Let we go back outside now. And let me show all you. You understand what I'm saying? We could get people to write ticket for mass. I've heard of that situations like that.
Oh, okay. All right. For mask?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
In most recent times now. Come and let we go back outside, and I'll show you that they could get people to write up. Right? I mean, obviously, them junior police must be saying, what's he trying to beat up people that?
Yeah, and I'm trying to jump in nobody for no mask below the chin or whatever. Yeah. But, I mean, I've always known that that's been the case. I remember trying to make having this argument when there was a point in time, I believe it might have been around the time when the police had done that shippiness where they caused the gridlock traffic the morning.
Right, yeah.
The day of exercises, however they had referred to it. When it was supposed the accusation was they were doing it because they were trying to display the anger about the lack of negotiations for salaries or whatever. I remember somebody, it might have been the Minister of National Security at the time, but somebody coming out and saying essentially, or it might have been a police officer, saying that some public official saying that the roadblocks are an integral part of the crime fighting strategy of the police service now. And I said to myself, yeah, boy, we in a banana republic, If random roadblocks, wherever perceived benefits come from those things, however many thief car they claim that it's fine or whatever, right? If we can't find a way to have intelligence-driven policing that would achieve those same benefits without inconveniencing...
Well, you're making a real jet point then.
Vast majority of the public, we are living in a banana republic. That's what it is.
What I've found, right, watching a lot of stuff on YouTube, is that people, when they travel to a lot of the third world countries, they tend to be real shocked when they see roadblocks.
that I was coming to tell you that when a friend of mine from the UK came here, right, we were going up to Maracas, and I was a member of one of those groups where there's warning about roadblocks or whatever, right? And so we were going through Santa Cruz, and I saw a message came up saying that, I think it was a public holiday or something like that. So people say, hey, roadblock XYZ. So I say, all right, we'll pass the other way. And I explaining to her that we passing this way now because we can't pass the other way because I have a roadblock. And she's like, a roadblock? For what? Like a prisoner escape or something like that? I was like, what do you mean for what? No, they just, it's a holiday, so that's what it's do. And she was baffled. But I understood why, of course. I was like, I know it don't make no sense to you, but we live in an adultish place, so it makes sense to we. But she couldn't understand, why would you just randomly set up a roadblock and just check people
and harass people?
That's the best way that we could utilize the resources we have in the police service. That's the most intelligent form of crime prevention we could engage in. But like I say, she was baffled by it, of course.
Yeah,
because it don't make no sense. The only time you see a roadblock in the UK is if, and it's not even a roadblock really, but that would be an accident, or if there is a specific individual that they're looking for, and they have reason to believe they're on this particular carriageway,
right?
You know what I mean? So they would stop. But that, I was there for what? Close to 3 years. I never saw a single roadblock.
Right. So if I think you would see it when, like, some major crime has occurred and they create a perimeter, if you want to put it like that. And they say, well, okay, the person, we're trying to make sure the person don't leave this grid.
Right.
So,
exactly. Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
But
because I never encountered one for all the time I was there. You understand? So, but in Trinidad and Tobago, that's how we feel we could achieve our crime fighting.
Well, don't say that's how you feel.
No, well, that's what it's trying to say.
Yeah, that's what they try to say.
Yeah.
But really and truly is, let me go down and wild up.
Shit, you're telling me.
Let me go down and wild up some people.
That's the. And I've always said to myself, imagine you are extremely ill and trying to get to a medical facility, bro. And some jackass police start that shit. And because remember, sometimes you don't even know what causing traffic. So you can't even say, well, all right, I go pull off and, pull in the shoulder and drive and explain to the police and them why. And the next thing is the police and them might stop you for so long to make sure you not on shit before they let you go because they catch you driving. But the point is, the traffic back up so far, you don't even know it's a roadblock up ahead course and that. Yeah. So you can't make a decision as to what to do. To say you could, hail out the police and tell the police what's going on, nothing. And worse yet, to know that you might end up in that because
a man get vexed.
And
but the thing is, so I don't know, you saw the initial video?
No.
Wow. I mean,
the video that was in the excerpt.
Yeah.
That they took a piece of.
Yeah.
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, see, if you watch that whole video, you get even more mad. Eh?
Right.
Because as the WPC are saying, she was taking a report from a man, right? And she was taking a report from the man, apparently some domestic situation, whatever the case may be, right? And this man started going bad. No, all you go outside. And she said, but the man here, look, the man,
right.
He was apparently bareback, and so they're trying to say, hey, let me try and get a juicy or whatever, because like wherever he follows with a woman,
right.
leave the one place and come in the police station, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, it is said that they don't take domestic abuse against men seriously.
Right.
They say they don't take it seriously on the whole, right?
In general. Right.
Far less against men. Hosan, a male police officer came in and he was saying, boss, we talked to you last week. We tell you, lead the woman.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? This last week, the woman beat him up or whatever. He going back this pussy like so. And now, obviously, it is hear rumors of these things, right? But to hear it actually being captured.
I mean, the police not taking anything seriously.
And making them kind of statements towards people now.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
And making light of his situation. Yeah.
And I was like,
because if that was if word came out that was made in response to a female coming to make a report,
then
all hell would break loose.
But the thing is, suppose this man, for whatever reason, right? They're trying. We don't know if he have a child involved in the situation. He's trying to fight up with his child mother. The woman keep doing it. Suppose he decide, all in a dealing with this, I go back there and I go beat up she. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I understand. But what I'm saying is, if it had happened, if it was they had made that in response to a woman,
then it just
all hell would have break loose.
Yeah.
Once that was publicized. Yeah.
Right. So but even but that man, you do it. If that man is saying, hey, listen, because I think he wanted to get his car or something from the place at this point, right?
Right. Yeah.
So he just say, hey, let's come and help me to go and get my car now.
Yeah.
And this is all looking at the papi show the man though.
Yeah.
The man is asking to police escort to go and get his car.
Yeah.
And
he done with the woman there.
And at least move up for the night.
Or we say.
Right. At that point, just get out of there for the night. And this is what coming out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. Every man said, so all they care about me, I agree, Mark. Let she play, man. Tonight self.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Simple like that, no?
Yeah. That's supposed to be the work of the police. Right?
And then they'll say, but what you expect the police to do enter those domestic disputes? How the police supposed to stop that?
Yeah.
How the police when somebody come to make a report,
take it serious.
Just carry the man. He didn't tell him come and lock up the woman.
Yeah.
He didn't tell you woman to beat him. I just want to get my car horse and have no clothes. If I could spot my jersey or whatever the case may be. Or whatever. That's all. And that's what you do the man horse?
Yeah.
Yo, nah boy.
And as I say, if you feel, dog, that them thing that is be putting out there on the road is for you and me and safety, that is a income generating exercise and a disciplinary exercise for officers in the station. That has nothing to do
with a big one last week.
Trinidad and Tobago safe.
It had a big one last week by McCoy, apparently, with licensing officers.
Yeah, licensing officers,
That mash up the place, because real traffic, you know.
Well, I don't know if I appeared when it just started. I was able to, because they were, some of them were before the lights and some of them were after the lights. The licensing officers was telling people to break, turn in, to break the line, to break the solid line and drive on the shoulder to go into the turning lane.
Okay.
I wasn't turning, but I just say, you know what, let me to get away from this, let me do that. And I turned and left. I turned and came off the highway and went onto the main road. So I don't know what happened after.
Later on, I saw a lot of, people posting on social media. Well, first he said, these people, where is real traffic, boy? Yeah. Because that's not like after 3.
Yeah.
You understand? Minutes of 4.
That was Friday. That was last week Friday.
Yeah,
Friday. It was Friday. Either Thursday or Friday.
I think Thursday was a holiday. So it was Wednesday.
Okay.
Because I remember I pick up my daughter because my daughter didn't have any school Friday. Mm-hmm. So I pick up my daughter and I said, well, we'll go in the mall. I had to go in the bank and whatever. So I remember my cousin called me, hey, well, I seen it going on Wednesday where it's all licensing officers by McCoy. I said, now we're going right in the mall.
Yeah.
And next thing is, I started seeing on social media, my wife had a client and the client called her, well, I leave him work now, so you expect me.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, so I'm not moving, you know. She's like, from Bryce to the Beatum, it took her like about an hour. Yeah. And she's like,
I guess, once it met up with rush hour traffic, because at that time I was probably there when they had just begun to set it up, I guess. But once that meet up with rush hour traffic, it'll get stupid.
Yeah, and
real retarded.
Like it did, boy. And yeah.
That is, you're putting members of the public through unimaginable stress, bro.
And my thing is with the license officers was, what are they looking for? At this point, or they should be able to just stand up and watch, we call them inspection stickers on cars. All right. We need to go through all our rigmarole. If you have inspection standard, right? Okay, that's what we're following, right? You not to be pulling me aside and checking this and check. Then if you have to change the inspection, then people might get vexed with me. But do it every year like in the States. You understand what I'm saying? Get your car check every year, whatever the case may be.
No, and my thing is, I do not understand why, in the same way that people are caught for speeding without having a roadblock, why can't people be caught for other infringements without stopping everybody? What do we need to do that for? And how efficient can it be? Because by the time 15 minutes after you stop me, I don't know they have a roadblock, right? So long before I meet you, I could do all kind of things. I could turn off, left, turn, right, turn.
You see man reversing on the highway.
you understand where I'm coming from? So again, how efficient as I say, if that is the best we could come up with in 2022, I mean,
you see why we have 215 with us.
See why we can't say we way, bro. Because that is that. And these are the things that we feel that what makes the difference between us and first world is fancier buildings and, you know, and whether we have drones delivering items or no. These are the simple things, you know. These things would not be allowed to take place because people would say, "What the fuck are you? You could make, almost a half a day of productive activity lost to your shit."
Well, I want to get a joke as we talk more about it. And I mean, we kind of push in time, but as listened to Corey Shepherd podcast last week episode, and so he tore his Achilles, right? Went and do surgery, have one this big kind of put thing on his leg or whatever the case may be, right? So he had some business to do in BIR office, and he went in a short pants. But he said, listen, because the boot on his leg, so he said, listen, let me do over pushy vibes now, boy. So I'll put a sneaker on one leg and well, the boot on the next leg.
As opposed to a slippers on the right.
Yeah. Which generally, well, yeah, crutches and thing. Now we can't go inside. First one, why happened? Well, I want short pants. Well, really and truly, I mean, you see what's going on here, right?
I can't get a pants if it over there.
Right? What am I do?
You know, cut the pants.
Right? Well, now, the most you going to do is go and talk to somebody. Go on and talk. The man say he sit down outside BR office for about 2.5 hours. Be trying to do what you had to know. Apparently, eventually, somebody come and take his documents and carry it up to somebody, and they call him on the phone, and and then after all that, it wasn't finished, and he had to go back the next day. But nevertheless, you know,
these are real stories like that, but he's going through real pressure with public service. I remember some story with the port.
Yeah,
it's like he's real go through it, boy.
And so the man say, you know, in the second conversation, when they say, well, they go talk to somebody else now, and come back, and they talk to the other person. That's before they come with this method. Somebody go carry out the people's name. The person say, well, now we can't go inside. He said, but he said, because I want slippers. He said, what? I don't want slippers. I want a sneak.
Yeah.
No, that. He said, but they're not slippers. That's the boot. That's the. Yeah, but if your toes exposed. And he said, but I am standing up here and seeing women going in with their toes exposed.
No.
Right?
No. They wanted the Django he, but they had something else. They didn't like he, man. Right? I don't want to believe people so retarded. They didn't like he. That's how he rubbed them the wrong way. Maybe the way he talked to them, he don't sound like that kind of person, but maybe the way he talked to them, he rubbed them the wrong way, man. He not saying some party story. That can't be that a man want to fight he so bad.
But you see, the thing is, if they were so vexed, then they wouldn't try to help him. True. So much so that somebody taking a phone number and going upstairs with their papers and call you and getting information and bringing back things downstairs here. So
that's really, and
the girl letting him know, the girl who shuttling is, listen, we don't make the rules.
Right.
The rules are made. Right. And we just have to.
That's Trinidad in 2022. That is Trinidad in 2022. That is Trinidad in 2022.
Yeah, but
we okay with that? We seem to be fine with that. Nobody. I don't bother nobody. That's crazy, yeah. But imagine you being. I don't know if this is the case in the US. I doubt it very much. But I just imagine you trying to tell an American who is by the DMV or something, hey, hear this now, you can't come inside, you know. Cause you wearing short pants. What? What were you saying to me? I can't come. You know what funds this place, right? You know, it's we here that fund this place, right? So what you could tell me I had to come, how I had to dress to come to deal with you. You understand what I'm saying? I don't understand what you're telling me. This is set up for us. This is not a profit making organization that you set up on your own for your own ends. No. We all pay taxes. All you are doing is performing the functions that we pay for. And you want to tell me how I have to dress to talk to you?
And worse yet, you in a state of handicap if you're in the place like that.
Yeah.
Worse yet, Jesus Christ.
The level of idiocy involved in that entire situation. Like I say, that's Trinidad in 2022. So
and the thing is, he and the man said that he said apparently leaving his foot down, apparently
Yeah.
is a
The
great deal
blood
of
flow,
discomfort.
the blood
and-
flow, yeah.
Yeah.
You had to keep it up.
So he say at a point that I'm saying, no, like in the kind of lobby thing down, saying he say, yeah, nah, I can put my foot up on the chair. Nah, bro, you can't put your foot on the chair. You can't.
Yeah, public. They are here to serve the public, but seem more concerned about your respect for them as opposed to their respect for you. That's we living in a master society still, you know. You understand what I'm saying? It's like that you are the Lord, and you are operating, or I'm begging for your assistance, you know, boy. You know what I mean? Not the other way around, which is that you are simply the conduit through which public services that we fund get from the government to us, right? That's what you are. You are simply a conduit. I'm not supposed to be, you know, I'm supposed to respect you just like I respect other human beings. I'm not supposed to afford you some kind of unusual level of respect or, you know, no. But
I do have the Lord, you know me, Jerry. But
yeah.
that's what they want, and nah.
The degree of stupidity.
Yeah, so, but as you're just talking about that now, boy, how the roadblocks kind of outdated and backdated. Man, you remember when you're watching Western and thing, or they used to set up on the path that people ride.
Yeah. Exactly. It's I don't understand. Find some way to intercept, you know, vehicles. I mean, they say they're bringing these tags on the license. Oh, who knows how long that will take? You know what I mean? Look how long it took for the speed guns to become operational. For the bracelets, the anklets to be monitoring anklets to be made operational. All these things are the things we're supposed to be quarreling about and asking the ministers about, not quarreling about who say Sushila and who talk about, you know, that is the, you know, but anyhow.
Hey, let me wrap it up. Only have a wonderful week. Have a wonderful weekend. I don't think we have much things to press on again. The next giveaway, 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah. Hopefully we're in a position to give away something even better.
Yeah. Right
something
now,
more
I'm
enticing.
currently running a giveaway on my next YouTube page. That page reached 1,000 subscribers. It passed 1,000 subscribers, but we're now doing a giveaway on that page. If you're interested in probably trying to get part of that, to be part of that, name of that page is Mr. and Mrs. Quest. So, if you're interested in that, head across to that page and figure out and find out how you could win.
Yeah, and follow me on Twitter, JCamps101.
Yeah, JCamps101. On Twitter, I'm the app868. And Instagram, the app868.